But it's Monday, you motherfuckers. Get up, wash your asshole. You got to go out there and deal with it. Like I said, a smile in your heart, fucking love, and some balls. That's what you fucking need today, and you'll make it happen. Trust me. I live on this shit every fucking day. I ain't no better than you motherfuckers. I'm just trying to put the pieces together. I saw Lee yesterday. We had some coffee with the baby.
Yeah, she's so fucking big.
She's fucking huge.
And I do you get nervous about swearing? Because I think I swore once. I was like, oh, no. I made it nervous.
I get nervous because one day she's going to pick it up. She is picking it up. It's going into a computer, and every time she takes a nap, she hears fuck and cocksucker and fuck your mother up the ass.
Well, she's doing the talking. Like you picked up the cell phone and you started talking, and then she has a baby cell phone, and then she started doing it. She started doing the hand movement. She put it up to her ear. She did the thing, but she just the only thing missing is the word.
It's a pink little fucking plastic cell phone you buy at a toy store. And whenever my phone rings, she picks up her cell phone. And she puts it to her ear like she's talking to someone. Like, what's going on? I hear you. You know? I hear you, cocksuckers. What else? Did you go to movies? Did you eat dinner with the wife? What did you do?
I ate dinner with the wife. We went to a Thai place. Okay. That's what we like.
Tremendous.
No, we didn't go to the movies. I spent the weekend looking for a dog, but I've decided that it's something I'm going to have to wait on a little bit. It's because I had been going to a rescue, and I wasn't finding anything, so we decided to go to the local shelter, and it's like hundreds of examples of when people couldn't handle getting a dog. I even picked one out. I had an adorable little one, and it was calm because that's why I need a calm dog. I can't have one running around being crazy, especially in my place. And it got me sad because the woman was saying this dog was 10 months old and it had been adopted from that shelter, and the family had recently, like 2 days before, brought it back. And I'm like, how could, like, this isn't, you can't do that to a dog after it gets used to a family and it's stuck in a little cage now, and it's just, I even though I have more time than I've ever had at home, I don't feel like I have enough time as a single person.
Nothing pisses me off when people don't think out the move.
Yeah.
Think out the fucking move. It's like when you see a homeless guy with a fucking dog. Obviously, he didn't think the fucking move out. Or he has the dog as a ploy to make some cash from people, from animal lovers, and I understand it. But there's nothing worse than getting a dog and then realizing your schedule, your time, and it happened to you once before.
Yeah.
So, when you called me and said that to you, my natural insult was to just tell you to go fuck yourself. But I told you to think about it. Think about it for 24 hours. That's what everybody should do. Think about it for 24 fucking hours. Don't get me wrong. It took me 20 years to realize that. I'm no fucking genius. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, anything I've ever done now, I think about it for 24 fucking hours. And you see it for what it is. You're 25. Mm-hmm. You want to get into different things. You have no family out here. You have no cover. You're like me. You know, when Terry started bringing fucking cats upstairs, I knew my life was changing. Then you live through an earthquake. You see what an earthquake is, and you think about what it does to this animal, this cat, or this dog that you love. And you really can't leave. What if last Monday's would have been 9.9 and you're here and the building falls down? You got to fly over there and save the fucking animal, and it's just, it's a lot of responsibility at a young age. If you had a house here, if you were planning on staying here, you know, anything could change at any time. And you have this dog and there's nobody here. Your girlfriend has to take a train every day to go over there.
Yeah. And
I go over there a few times a week, but then I got to go out of town.
And it doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while you'd be like, hey, we're going to San Diego. We'll be back tonight, but it's still 6 hours. Or, fucking, it's just, there's enough of a time where I wouldn't want to do that to a dog. So what I've decided is I'm going to do something, maybe volunteer at the shelter or something, because I do love the dogs. But even some people wrote to me on Twitter when I said that, like, listen, man, it's not, I think as a single person, it's probably too much. Because the girl and I have been talking about moving in together in like a year or something. I think when that happens, and there's two people at the house.
Two people at the house, and she could come in at lunchtime if you're out of town. You know, it really helps. Nothing fucking pisses me off more than going to a shelter and seeing 20 fucking pit bull mixes.
Oh, there's so many of them. There was a Saint Bernard puppy that was probably like already 100 pounds. and it was just so happy. And yeah, some of the pit bulls were kind of scary at the shelter. They were angry, but some of them were so sweet and they're just happy. And then there was the one that probably made me not get the dog was one, and they all have on the sheet when it came in. One came in January, and this one didn't even come out to say hi to anybody. It was just sitting in the back. It's just like it had been there for 3 months, and it was like, oh.
He was giving up hope.
Yeah, and it's
fucking wild. No. It's wild to even see those things at parks now, and I won't even walk.
I almost went there yesterday. There was one in the park in Laurel Canyon.
Laurel Canyon always has them on Sunday. And I went over there one day and I walked over and I seen these cats and I saw a cat that looked just like mine, like my super bad. And it's just amazing. You know, I couldn't think of my life without those fucking cats I have. Those cats. Now with the baby, it's fucking too much. But I still deal with it and I realize how much they love me, my cats, and how much I love them. There's days I have fucking Harry and Superbad, who fucking are mortal enemies. Do you understand me? They're mortal fucking enemies. Oh, they hate each other since day one. I got one on this fucking leg, and I got Superbad on my chest. And that's the way, you know, that's just the way it goes. And I look at them, and I look at my daughter, and they mean the same to me. It's the weirdest thing. They both, fucking Superbad, I would have never stopped snorting without Superbad. And he's the ugliest, rattiest, stinkiest, smelliest fucking cat. I smelled his face last night. I almost fucking puke. But I love him. I love holding him and squeezing him. And Harry, this morning I was doing something in the office and I heard him fucking crying. I wanted to go, what the fuck, Harry? He was hungry. I went over, I fed him, I pet him, I picked him up, I kissed him. You know, it's Monday. On Mondays, I try to kiss them all and hug it. Like last Monday, I didn't know that they were looking for attention. They were letting me know there was going to be a fucking earthquake, and I didn't even know it. And I picked them up, like fucking all of them. I started kissing them and telling them before I left because they were acting weird. And look, when I came back, there was an earthquake, and I didn't think about it until hours later, you know.
Do you think you'll have, because I mean, you'll have the cats while Mercy is there, but do you think if you ever got like a bigger house, like I think it was important for me to have a dog because the cats is responsibility, but the act of taking a dog, I think is important. Have you thought about getting a dog for her? Or is it? I mean, there's just because I was watching you yesterday, and I can't imagine. Like it just seems like it's. I don't know how you get it. I honestly don't know how you guys get anything done. Because like she threw the book down. She started crying a little bit. I was like, oh my! How do you like not focus fully? So just like I always started thinking 10 years in the future. You
get used to it, and you. I know for a fact, I know before I had the child that I was never going to, a friend of mine said, listen, when you have her, don't think of doing nothing else. That you're not going to write, you're not going to read a book, you're not going to be able to watch TV. It's too much attention. So you know this. You know, and that's it. You just, when you have her, you watch. You watch. And sometimes she watches TV, and sometimes you got to read her a book. And it's a commitment. It's a commitment at every fucking level, but you do it, you know. Sometimes in the summer, you ever see like, I go to the fucking Studio City, and I've said this 1,000 times. I go to Studio City, I go to the park, and I'll see a nanny with 2 kids at the park. The mother doesn't even have time. God forbid she's that busy. But then I'll swing 2 miles across town, and I'll see a Mexican woman that's pregnant pushing a fucking kid in a carriage with a kid in one hand with groceries. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever you do. It's whatever you fucking choose and how you choose to do it. You know, time is time. You know, time is, you have to make time for everything. You have to make time for yourself. It's really important. I had a really good time this weekend. I had a fucking great time last week. You know, I was sore the one day from jiu-jitsu or something, so I didn't do much Wednesday and Thursday. But I did some comedy last week. You know, I did the Vincent thing. It was a big time stony week last week. I was fucking high Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, Jesus. And then Friday we got high again. You didn't want to get high with me, so it was a stony weekend. But Friday night I did something that I had been looking forward to for a long fucking time. I went to the 3rd year anniversary party at my jiu-jitsu school. Oh, cool. Now, they always have little things. They always have, once every 60 days, they have a barbecue, a belt promotion, this, that, a demonstration, and they always barbecue afterward. And I'm always out of fucking town. Always out of fucking town. So when I got the email for this, like the beginning of the month, I was just, I put it on the calendar. I told my wife I was going, and I went down there. I did the beginner class. I did the whole Marcelo Madness, which is calisthenics, and then I stayed to spar till about 9:15. And I was going to go and do a set of flappers and then come back. There was a friend of mine I wanted to see up there. Jimmy Schubert was up there. Mm-hmm. But I went home, and I took a shower, and the baby was still awake, so I said, fuck it. I just went and got a case of beer and went over to the party. I didn't drink. I had a hamburger and a hot dog. And at one moment, I just sat there and looked at all these kids, because that's basically what they are. They're fucking kids. They're 25-year-old kids. You know, some are working, some are not working, some are getting out of school, some are thinking of going back, you know, and what keeps them together is this jiu-jitsu class, you know, and it's a cheap jiu-jitsu class. It's $60 a month, and that's all they could afford, you know. They live on ramen and shit, and they get like a gi, and it's so weird that I sat there for like 30 minutes just looking, and I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say 2 words. Nobody asked me to take a fucking picture. Nobody asked me if I'd been auditioning. Nobody asked me if I was doing a set. Nobody asked me if I was in a movie. I was just a regular person, man. And that's why I do that.
How did that happen?
Happens every time I go to jiu-jitsu. Anytime I've gone into a martial art the last 5 years, I go in there and I leave everything at the fucking door when I walk in there. It's my hour, like we've discussed before. But it's also, I don't know, my biggest mistake, people always say, well, blah, blah. If I would have stayed in martial arts, if I would have, could have, should have, you know, I went to church with my wife yesterday, and we dropped the baby off in daycare downstairs, and I hung around. Terry goes upstairs. It's her church, not mine. So I'd rather hang out and watch the kids play with the tambourines and shit. And there's a girl downstairs, Sophia, and she was talking to me about ballerina, how it fucks up her toes. And she goes, yeah, you know, I'm a ballerina. I've been doing it since I was 2 or 3, blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, you know, do me a favor. Whatever you fucking decide in your life, don't ever quit ballet.
How old is she?
She just turned 13.
Okay.
She goes to school with Felicia's kids.
Okay. All
right, so that's how I know her. Her name is Sophia. Good-looking young girl. She's going to be fun, but she got a great head. You could tell she's an only child, and you could see that she's older. When you walk in, she told me she was 13. I thought she was like 28. I can't fucking tell. But it was really weird that I said to her, don't quit whatever you're doing. Even if it doesn't make you money in the future. That thing you've been doing since you were 2, that'll always bring you back. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, and then the other woman said, you know, I played the piano all my life. My father made me hate it. And the other girl goes, I used to sing. And my father made me hate it. And then you all try to get back into it now. One of my biggest mistakes at 15 was dumping karate. It destroyed me because it kept me intact. It was a group of people that I didn't hang out with, which meant I only saw them when I went to karate or karate events. Mm-hmm. So whatever I was doing with my friends in North Bergen at the time, it didn't really matter when I went down there on whatever, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings to throw sidekicks. You know, if I smoked pot with my friends, I didn't smoke pot with these karate kids. These karate kids, you went, you bought a gi, you beat each other up, and then you all went out for cheeseburgers and talked about fucking the martial arts supply store, how they just got a new set of knee pads in it. You got to get them in red. That was your big fucking geek out. That was what I did. And then something possessed me to go hang out with these other gorillas that none of them were into anything but bad shit. And my life went astray. And then when I was 25 or 26 in 1994, whatever the fuck I was, 30, I said to myself, oh, I'm going to go back to martial arts. And thank God I got back into like a tank suit, traditional bowing, the whole fucking thing. And it was really special for me. It really brought me back and it focused my stand-up. So then when I went off the deep end again for 10 fucking years, over here in 2006, before I went on the fucking Weight Watcher thing, I went to this karate school, kung fu school in Vermont with these black dudes, these 2 black dudes. I used to call it Kung Fu with the Brothers. And I loved it, and it brought me back to focus.
How does a karate class bring your life back? Like, because it seems like it's only an hour a day. Like, how does it focus your whole life?
Because it takes you away from your life, and it makes you look at your life from a different angle. You follow me? Mm-hmm. It takes you away from that. just walking into a gym, walking into a martial arts school, walking into something that takes an hour of your head, because you think about your day, you think about your week, you think about your day, you work 6 hours, you do this, and you go to yourself, what do I do the other 5 hours? Oh, I fuck off. And you go to yourself, what if I did something different one of those fucking hours, you know? When I was a kid and I went to martial arts, it was weird. It kept me away from things full time. Do you follow me? It was my time away. Like my friend Jody, who's a fucking boozer. She joined Kung Fu karate down the block from me. In fact, it was Tang Soo Do. And I tried to explain that. I go, Jody, I don't give a fuck if you don't quit drinking. But think about this. Your class, 2 nights a week is at 8 o'clock. Those 2 days, you're not going to drink till 9:30. You're going to keep focused and not have a drink till 8:30. So even if you fuck around for 5 days, there's going to be 2 days that you're going to find something to do till 8:30. You're going to go to the class, you're going to have a great time. And once you walk out of that fucking class, I don't give a fuck if you walk into your cabinet and drink the whole fucking thing of booze and alcohol and ice cubes and olives and fucking whatever the fuck you, margarita salt. But do you understand me, bro? That fucking hour and a half keeps you so focused. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be fucking jiu-jitsu. It could be fucking anything. It could be capoeira. It could be kickboxing. It could be judo. It could be karate. It could be yoga. Whatever. That little thing keeps you, it takes you away from usually the people who are always talking about what you don't want to fucking talk about. Your life. When you sit with Paula, after the hellos and the goodbyes and the bullshit, how long do you tell her that you need to make more money? How long does she talk to you about her fucking life going to law school?
Yeah.
This is it. That hour, nobody knows about your fucking problems. That hour, you go to grow. You go to grow mentally. You might have a little goal for yourself. You know what? Today, dog, those fucking drills in the beginning, I'm going to fucking throw 10 kicks instead of 8. I don't care if I don't breathe the rest of the fucking class. That particular drill, I'm going to throw 8 kicks today. I'm going to instead of 8. You know, sometimes I go to jiu-jitsu and I go, you know what? Today I'm going to go past the black on hip escapes. And I give myself a personal goal. When I walk out of jiu-jitsu, I'll tell you something. If you catch me at the door, you'd have to suck my dick for 2 hours before a drop of yum-yum juice came out. Because that's how high I am from what I just did. When I walk out of jiu-jitsu, is the best time for me to write. It's the best time for me to do a podcast. I wish I could go from jiu-jitsu right to the fucking stage. Mm-hmm. Because I destroy every time. Because the accomplishment that you feel.
Okay.
So if you say to yourself, like, yeah, the gym is great and all this stuff, but there's different things that you could do. I don't give a fuck if it's an art class. It might be an art class. But it takes you away from that bullshit. From your bullshit, you know? I'm not saying your bullshit, my bullshit.
No,
it's
yeah.
our own bullshit, you know? From the cat needs food and who didn't fucking puke and I gotta go to the weed store and just the dilemmas of the fucking day, you know? It's just amazing what it does for you.
So how, I mean, I don't remember, cause I did martial arts all through school, and I don't remember as a kid having those thoughts, but when you're saying that to me, I'm thinking, well, if I'm in class, maybe my mind will be elsewhere, maybe my mind will be on those things. So did you have to train yourself to not worry about it?
Yeah, because after a while, you do get caught. If an instructor's saying, well, he's setting you up for a fucking thing, all of a sudden you look down, and you do get caught. You're like, fuck, when I leave here, I gotta go right to the bank. You know, like you might think about that. I might have to go right to the bank and cash that check. If not, my family's not gonna eat tonight. Whatever. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Right then and there, Lee, something catches you, and you're like, okay. They're like, come over here, Lee. Demonstrate it on Joey. And now you gotta throw me over, or punch me in the stomach, or karate chop me and throw a kick. And now you're like, fuck. When the teacher demonstrated it, I didn't think I could do it. Mm-hmm. But I could do it. I just missed by 3 inches. Let me do this again. And all of a sudden you throw that kick and that punch, and now you're like, wow, a little closer. And now you get sucked in, bro. You just get sucked in by your own abilities, by the things you can do, not the things you can't do. Mm-hmm. It's a very weird fucking thing, man. And I knew that when I got out of, listen, that if I look back, I was a fucking moron. I ate that girl's pussy and it made me crazy. And I got left back in the 7th grade, right?
Yeah.
It happens. And after I got left back, I got really smart really quick because I did the things I wasn't doing before. I was taking notes in class. doing shit like that. But I also think that I got really into basketball after I got left back, and I got very into martial arts after I got left back. And that focused me, man. It really focused me. I never got in trouble. And yeah, I started smoking pot with the neighborhood guys, but I would never tell my martial artist friends. It was like a fucking stripe against me if I told my martial artist friends. When I quit martial arts, I didn't quit it. I quit because I wanted to party more than I wanted to do martial arts. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to work anymore, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to work anymore. And it's a fucking shame. And it took me 10 years to realize that. And if I have a friend or a daughter or a son or a nephew who got involved in something, it doesn't have to be martial arts. It could be anything. They got involved in archery. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying to keep doing that. Mm-hmm. To keep doing that because it'll keep you centered. It's like when you're a telemarketer or a salesman, they give you a pitch to read on the phone. After 90 days, you go on a tangent and you start just talking. And then you realize you're not selling anymore until you go back to that script. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to go back to the original script of your life. That's what you did for 15 years. My cousin played the piano. There was a girl there who said she played the piano. And then one day she stopped because of the abuse of, your father's like, play the fucking piano on Saturdays.
Yeah.
She goes, I'd be playing the piano, listen to kids playing outside. So I got turned off to the piano, and I go, don't you wish you started playing out? She goes, I did. A year and a half ago, I started taking lessons again, and I finally just financed the piano. So it's amazing. Sometimes people that find themselves again, they go back to what they were doing as kids because you want to go back to that moment. You want to see what the fuck you were thinking at 14 and 15 when you were something, when you did have ambition, when you did have a wanting for life. I look at my daughter when they clap on a TV show, and she gets fucking excited. We don't fucking clap no more because we've been poisoned. We've been poisoned. But to have that virginity to life again, to have that, to be excited about life again as a child, we're going to Wendy's. Way! You know what I'm saying? If I tell you you're going to Wendy's now, you're like, all right, I'll eat a double, but fuck, my stomach is going to be sore. I'm not eating the chili.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you tell them McDonald's, they jump up and fucking down. That's why McDonald's will never close down. Because every day you get a million fucking new customers. Every time a little kid is fucking born, give them 2 years, they're going to have a McNugget in their fucking mouth.
Oh, fuck it. I saw that this weekend, and not to change the subject, but I was watching something, and there was kids commercials, and they're so fucking manipulative that I have you noticed that watching the kids shows with your daughter? Especially the Chuck E. Cheese and the McDonald's.
You're not around, so that's sucking them the fuck in.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they lose their fucking mind. Because while they're watching the commercial, they have devils stabbing them with $100 bills for toys and shit. So that's what the kids really fucking see. Remember you ever that about Coke, that when you went to a movie theater, that Coke would slow down if you slowed down the advertising, Coke would throw subliminal messages in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're thirsty, get up, go
one frame every second or something.
Get popcorn or some shit like that. But it was just, it just felt nice to be around normal people, bro.
Yeah, that must not happen a lot with you. And I'm not saying everywhere you go. It's not like you go to Ralph's and there's a parade for Joey Diaz.
No. I'm not talking about it in this way. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm not saying everyone knows who you are.
I'm talking about a sense. We walk in here. I come in here to do a podcast. I sit down with you. A guest comes in. And within 4 minutes ago, you've been auditioning lately? Mm-hmm. Or I'll ask him. I'm no fucking innocent in this either. You've been auditioning lately? Yeah. But next thing you know, we're talking fucking shop. Anywhere I go, I'm going to talk shop to. In my house. When I'm having dinner with my wife. How was your day? Good. Boom. I talk to this guy. You're talking shop.
It happens with every job too. I did that with my TV jobs. Every time on the weekends, and it was funny because we hated the job. But anytime we go together for drinks after work on the weekends, it all go back to that boss we hated, or I can't believe how stupid they are.
So all you want to do is get your mind out of there, so you can still grow personally.
Now, do you think it's important that it was something you did as a kid, or could it be something totally new?
It could be something totally new.
Okay.
But I'm saying, if you think about it, if you're an adult right now, if you're over 30 and you did something as a kid and you stopped doing it, I want you to think about when you were doing it, how you felt about life. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you want to feel like that again?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to feel like that again? So this might just bring you back. You ever fucking smell something that reminds you of your mom's stew or something your mom used to cook, a certain hot dog, and it fucking arouses you for 5 minutes, and you think about the last time your mom made it, and how it can't be your mom. Your mom's 2,000 miles away. You follow me? But it takes you back. I'm feeling the same thing for something you did every fucking day. You know, even if you just go out there and play two-hand touch maybe for 3 minutes. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying, for me, it worked.
Yeah.
For me, I saw the beginning of the end. For somebody else, maybe not. Where's the fucking Musically? It's Monday, the 24th. Who the fuck knows what happened to the devil today? I don't know if he was buried at sea. I don't know if he was on that Malaysian plane. Who the fuck knows where that fucking devil is? Where's Tony Bennett?
Bennett land this weekend. Excited?
I'm going to Fort Lauderdale.
I know.
Is that Tony Bennett land?
It has to be. There's so many old Jews and old Italians.
That's what you meant, cocksucker. I didn't know what you were talking about. That's what Tony Bennett was from Fort Lauderdale.
No.
It's like he's down there spring breaking at the beach with a bikini on.
I'm sure he is. He's like the most interesting man in the world.
He really is. It's amazing. He's still working. He's still doing what he fucking loves. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck, Lee, cocksucker? You're not getting high no more.
Yes, I did.
You didn't eat edibles the other fucking day.
I ate edibles 2 days last week.
Who cares? 2 days. You're a fucking Marine. You gotta eat every day. Like a savage. You got any left around here? Where's the edibles? You threw them all home. I know you.
No, you have them all.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check the house. Maybe I ate them all.
Why would I have any of them?
Because maybe you want to save them, maybe you want to dose the girlfriend and fucking take pictures. I don't fucking know. I don't ask you questions. What are you looking at the screen for? What's the matter? What's on there?
Just looking for the call.
You look all fucking upset. What's the problem here, Lee?
I'm perfect.
You good? What are you going to do today? What do you got on the agenda?
9 o'clock, we have a Flying Jew radio.
Okay. Today?
Today, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I spent last night packing up the t-shirt orders. So
okay. And they're going to go out today?
Going out today.
You going to take them to the mail department?
I know. I already put the stamps on them and stuff, so I'm just gonna throw them in the box.
And they come over and get them.
They would, but I was going out, so I just figured I'd bring them over because I didn't want to. Like you can't schedule a time. Like it's just that they'll come over whenever they come over, so I felt better about putting it in the box.
Okay, so you take it to the post office
or any blue box. I'm just throw them in there. They're already stamped.
Blue box.
Yeah.
No shit.
That's what they said. We'll see how it works.
Okay. See what I'm saying? You're learning.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of it. What the fuck?
What the fuck, though?
What the fuck?
But it is pretty cool. I mean, I know we have people in different countries, but like I'm sending a shirt to Australia and to Austria. I'm like, how cool is that?
I had an email from Norway last night. Finland's big in the fucking house. I got some white people in China smoking opium over there. Thank you for.
Do you see what happened to Cleo? Like her husband got in a car accident or something. I think he's okay. But,
come on.
Yeah, but she put that on Twitter. But he's fine. But I saw that yesterday with Cleo, so I'm hoping
I just
he's
returned her an email. Man, I got some fucking great emails this week. I really did. You know, you got a problem, you want to chit chat, fucking go to, what is it?
Beating the Beast Podcast.
Beating the Beast Podcast at gmail.com and send me a fucking email. Oh, no.
And I think you have
go to joeydiaz.net.
Yeah,
go to joeydiaz.net. I got a lot of addiction. I guess addiction's fucking huge, man.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, it is.
Fucking pills and blow and people are freaking the fuck out. But sometimes it's not an addiction, I think. Sometimes it's just people want to party and they're scared to quit, but they know how to fucking quit. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think everyone knows it's. I mean, for me, it's food. I think everyone knows what they have to do. It's just it's hard doing it because it's not easy and it's not fun.
I just get surprised on how many fucking people email me about addiction, and I've learned a complete lesson the last 5 years. I've learned a complete fucking lesson because I thought that. When I wouldn't tell my stories, I thought that everybody had a celebrity they dealt coke to. Or I thought that everybody once mugged somebody in the back of my head. I thought that one day Lee was going to say, well, I fucking stabbed the hook. I always thought that about people. I don't know fucking why. And then I found out, no, when I would tell people, I found out that I was fucked up. You know, that I was a little fucked up from the way I lived and whatever. And you tell your fucking stories, and I have no idea where I'm going with this. I got too high on that fucking vapor. That vapor pen will kick your ass. You know, it's been 35 or 36 days I haven't smoked dope.
How are your lungs feeling?
My lungs are doing better. Sometimes I get surprised. I take those fucking shroom techs, and I get surprised. Like Friday night, I took the shroom text, and I got surprised on how much energy and how much lung power I had. Let me tell you how good the shroom texts were on fucking Monday. On Friday night, I went to an hour fucking beginner class. Then I did an hour calisthenics, squats, jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups. I can't do the fucking burpees. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. And I can't do the cross country, whatever the fuck. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I did those 3 sets of 20 each. And then we rolled. I rolled 3 things at 5 minutes apiece. Then I went fucking home. I did 5 sets of swing kettlebells and 5 sets of clean and jerks, clean and presses with a squat. That's how fucking good the shroom techs are fucking doing. I'll tell you what, man. If you're looking for fucking energy, whether you're a fat fuck, a skinny fuck, you're starting out, you just want to give it a shot to see it doesn't raise your heartbeat, your heart doesn't pound out of your fucking shirt. It just gives you this weird energy when you think you should be breathing heavy. You're not. That's what the shroom tech does.
Okay.
It's something in those whatever type of mushrooms. So do me a favor, man. If you're looking to start working out or something, and I hate plugging something here, but I just remember sometimes, I just want to tell you, Onnit does a fucking great job. Whether it's the fucking Alpha Brain, neurologist approved, whether it's the fucking shroom tech, whether it's the fucking strong bone. That some people, people email me. Some people get good results off the tea powder. Some people don't. Some people love the turnaround fucking 180. I haven't heard one to complain about that. But the Alpha Brain, I hear some people get headaches or something like that. I got headaches in the beginning, but after you move it a couple of days, you fucking feel great, I'll tell you, anything you want to try, they got the kettlebells, they got those fucking buffalo strips now, they got the digestive enzymes. They keep getting better and better and better. I don't need to fucking tell you. Go to onnit.com and see what you fucking like on there. Even if you order one thing of the shroom tech, use my code. What's the code?
Church.
CHURCH. And get yourself 10% off, 20% off. If you like it, you go back and you register for Stay On It, and you get 20% off right off the bat, plus the fucking 10, and they mail it right to your house the beginning of the month. You don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to reorder. You have to get back online, give you your fucking credit card. That's how easy it is. Go to On It today, because I tell you what, I'm 300 fucking pounds. And for me to do what I just told you, I just fucking realized what I did. That was the shroom tech. And I went home and I wasn't breathing heavy. I had to pee. I can't lie to you motherfuckers. When I fucking breathe heavy, I gotta fucking pee. But besides that,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? A little pee, but you live? Who gives a fuck? It's not like those pills for asthma they got. You spray your lungs and you might die. What am I gonna die for? Why would I wanna fucking die for? I'm alive. So what? I'm breathing a little fucking heavy. But with your spray, I'm gonna fucking die? I swear, I seen that ad.
Oh, yeah.
What's that fucking ad? You sit there and go, what the fuck did he just say?
Exactly. Now, everyone, I'm not a huge stoner, but you always hear people say, "Oh well, weed smoke isn't as bad for you as cigarette smoke." Being off of it for 30 days, do you think does weed do something when you're
Smoke is smoke.
Okay.
Smoke is smoke. Whether it's weed smoke, whether it's cigarette smoke, I feel less toxic.
Okay.
I feel like my lungs are less toxic. That's it. Mm-hmm. I feel a little better, and I'm sure. It's not like I'm jumping over fences and I got tons of cardio. No. It's going to take its time. Not to mention I'm 300 pounds. My body is, carrying 100 fucking pounds more than what it should. So that alone weighs on your fucking cardio. Through time, I'll get better and better and better at it, and I'll lose some weight, and we'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here we go.
Uncle Ben, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing much. How are you, Joey?
Good, buddy. Thank you very much for waking up early and calling. So I got to ask you a question before we even get started. You're in Missoula right now?
Yeah, Montana.
Let me tell you something. I used to do comedy there 15 years ago at a place called the 8 Ball Inn.
Oh, yeah? Not here anymore.
It's not there anymore? How long have you lived in Missoula for?
I went to grad school here for a couple of years and moved away to New York, and I've been back now for about 6 years.
You like it up there?
I love it.
It's fucking cold. It's the real deal.
Well, you get into a winter sport, and it gives you a reason to look forward to it.
What do you do up there? What do you like? You ski a lot? Or
I do a lot of cross-country skiing.
Oh,
yeah, I take my dog out there, and you can kind of get way out there.
Oh, your legs are fucking solid. Yeah, I used to drive. When I lived in Seattle, I used to work Missoula for Tribble, and there was a couple Montana rooms he had. I went everywhere from Billings I went everywhere in Montana. That's when you could do 150 in your car and nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And what did you go to grad school for?
Writing, creative writing.
You're a bad motherfucker. On the line, my man Ben Folks. He's a writer for USA Today, also for MMA Junkie. You know, I called George the other day, and George, who's also been on the show, and I've been on MMA Junkie various times, and I wanted him to break down the TRT. We just started talking about the TRT thing, and he mentioned your name. He said you've done a couple articles on it. Break it down for me. What's going on in UFC and how this is going to affect the TRT ban?
Well, what's going on now, we're actually in kind of a period of change, because for the last few years, it was gaining in popularity, and a lot of different arguments came out about it. Some guys saying, hey, you know, these guys have natural testosterone deficiencies. Guys like Chael Sonnen, who was one of the first to kind of popularize it. Vitor Belfort was one. Dan Henderson is kind of the grandfather of it for a long time. And saying, hey, we need, you know, synthetic testosterone just to keep us within normal testosterone levels, to keep us healthy and be able to go in there and compete. And the problem is synthetic testosterone for any other fighter who gets on it, it's a performance enhancer. It's a steroid. And when you take synthetic testosterone and administer it, you know, via a shot or a cream, whatever, administer it exogenically, you know, outside the body, that's a performance enhancer. And every other fighter can't do it. These other guys, they go and they get a doctor's note and get permission from the commissions to do it. And so it naturally creates some ethical questions. You know, is it fair? Is it fair for some guys to be able to do it and not other guys? And is it safe? Is it not only safe for them, the guys using it, but, you know, they're not baseball players, they're not tennis players, they're hitting each other in the head. And if you let a guy, you know, take a performance enhancing substance that's going to make him faster and stronger, help him recover faster so he can train harder, and then he gets to go on a cage and beat somebody up, you know, some bad stuff can happen there. So it was a debate that we had in the sport for several years, and now finally the tide has turned against synthetic testosterone and TRT, as they call it, testosterone replacement therapy. And the Nevada Commission, which is the kind of the commission that sets the standard for the rest of the nation, they recently announced that they're not going to allow any more therapeutic use exemptions for testosterone. You know, they're not even going to look at the applications anymore. You just can't do it anymore. And that's already led, you know, a couple commissions to say that they'll follow suit. The UFC has said that they will follow suit in the areas where it acts as its own regulator. So now, you know, a few months ago it was cool. Now it's not cool anymore.
Now they're saying that, like, Vitor Belfort pulled out of his fight against Chris Weidman. Now he's going to go clean without it. That's what's going to happen now. Guys like him and Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson, who fucking punched, I guess Sonnen won't be smelling any farts lately because he fucking hit him so hard in the nose. He broke his goddamn nose. And I love Shogun. He just caught him with a great shot. So guys like that will not be allowed to shoot testosterone anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, and if they do it, then they'll be cheating. They won't be allowed to do it legally. And that is one of the tricky things about testosterone to begin with is, if you know, say you didn't get a therapeutic use exemption, you know, even back when they were being handed out, and you decided you wanted to use it, it's one of the harder substances to detect because it goes away so quickly. You get the shot, and it dissipates in your system pretty quickly. Those levels come down in a hurry. So if you know how to manage the levels, I mean, the normal test they do for fighters is the TE ratio test, the testosterone to epitestosterone ratio. And in most states, if it's higher than 4-to-1, you know, 4 testosterone and for 1 epitestosterone, then they consider that a positive test. And for Nevada, for a while, they had it as high as 6-to-1. One of the things that the Balco people figured out when they were, you know, doping in baseball and other sports was that those tests don't differentiate between, you know, 4-to-1 and 8-to-2, and, you know, and 16-to-4. You can just keep raising the epitestosterone level along with the testosterone, and you can beat those tests. Because the only test that reliably catches the presence of synthetic testosterone is the carbon isotope ratio test, which most athletic commissions don't even do unless they catch you with the TE ratio test first. So, I mean, it's not as if it's going to completely drive testosterone out of the sport, but it will just drive it underground. It will make it so that it's like other steroids, and that if you want to use it, you have to, you know, admit to yourself that you're cheating.
You got to take a ride to Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, it's
fun.
I
mean, you know, there's just so many. You look around. You go in Vegas now, and you're riding around in a cab and you're almost guaranteed to hear some radio ad for anti-aging clinic. It's just becoming more culturally popular at the time. So it's not really a surprise that it would also become more popular with fighters who are always looking for an edge.
I was watching the 60 Minute about the baseball player, Rodriguez, A-Rod, and he was eating those fucking lozenges.
Right.
Did you see that? I don't know, gummy bears, whatever you want to call them, but they were testing him after the games. Is that why he wasn't testing positive? Because they dissipate that fast?
I don't know if it dissipates that fast. I guess it does. A lot depends on what form you take it in. I mean, he's the only guy I've ever heard of that, had taken it that way. But I have heard of, with several other fighters where, as long as you give yourself a little bit of time before you're going to be tested, those levels can come down in a real hurry. And that's the thing about it, too. I mean, that's why it was one of the preferred performance enhancers for a lot of guys, was because it dissipates so quickly. And if you're a fighter, and here's the date of the fight, here's when I'm going to be tested, you can circle that on the calendar. Not only with testosterone, just with a lot of performance-enhancing drugs. If you have anybody in your camp who knows what they're doing, it's hard to get caught that way. I mean, you have to screw it up. The only way, drug testing really works is if it's random, unannounced, hey, we call you up and we tell you got 2 hours to go get somewhere and get tested. Otherwise, if you can plan on it, you ought to be able to beat it.
It's amazing. I was on federal probation 20 years ago for drugs, and it was amazing how people were beating them. They would adapt. You just adapt, There was animals that would tie hot water bottles to their fucking backs with pee in them and a hose to their dick. I opted for the vinegar thing, which never worked, and cranberry juice. I mean, I remember doing like an 8-ball and Sunday night drinking a whole pint of white vinegar. Do you guys have an idea what that's like? And then drinking cranberry juice.
Vinegar.
Oh my God. And then when I failed again, then I started getting cleaners and putting them in my dick. Pool cleaners. So when I'd piss, it would fall in the thing. And I'd just fuck up the whole machine. I put so many things on my dick so I would beat the test. And I would just break the machine. Then they'd come to my house and come get me. It was ridiculous. So I can't imagine what these fucking baseball players are doing with money. I was a fucking,
Yeah, at what point do you hate putting stuff on your dick more than you like getting high? It seemed like it would be not worth it at that point.
But I could just imagine people, because listen, I had friends growing up in Jersey that were doing steroids, and it all started out okay. But then it didn't take a genius to notice that it was becoming an addiction to them in a way. They were going every fucking three times a week for shots when it's supposed to be every 6 weeks. And then you go on your cycle. These guys stayed on cycles. I had a friend that stayed on an Anavar cycle for fucking 3 or 4 years. And you're like, dog, you got to give your liver and your kidneys a break. They didn't give a fuck. So, in a way, a lot of people don't know it becomes something like that the fighter, in the back of his mind, might also think, hey, I need this to fight.
Yeah. Well, and, you can understand that. Like, you hear those ads, the anti-aging clinic ads, and you can understand why it's attractive, not just to fighters, but just to men in general, because, they go down this list. You feel tired, you feel like you're not as strong as you used to be, all this stuff, and it's like, who couldn't say yes to that? Who couldn't talk themselves into saying yes? Yeah, I want to have more energy. I want to have more vitality, like I imagine I did in my youth. That kind of, especially for fighters, they're training 2 or 3 times a day and then going, man, I feel tired. Well, of course you feel tired. Anybody would feel tired. You go and do that stuff. But I think a lot of it comes from, we just live in this kind of culture where if you feel like anything is wrong, what can I take for it? You go to a doctor and tell them you think you have low testosterone, and most doctors will tell you, lose weight, eat better, get more sleep, that kind of stuff. But people don't want to hear that. If there's a shot you can take for it, they're going to want that shot. And so there's money to be made off of it. So it kind of seems like one of those things where, it's a cure in search of a disease. And that's why, you read, the New York Times has done a lot of stuff on it recently, but talking to doctors who just say, low testosterone, for most people, it's not even a real thing. But you can just kind of talk anybody into believing that they have it.
Like I told you my story yesterday, I hang around a lot of younger guys, and they talk about all that shit, and I sit there because I've never believed in any of that shit, even growing up. Like I said, I grew up in the early 80s, and I had friends that were into all that stuff. And the last time I saw one of them, he was telling me that he was buying the shit that they take out of your spine, out of dead people's fucking spine. It cost $10,000. This is to the level these guys were at that I grew up with in Jersey. They were bodybuilders. So I don't like needles. God threw me a fucking blessing, Ben. I don't like needles at all. So they all started telling me about testosterone, get the cream. So they referred me to this one doctor. I went to the doctor. I took the blood test. Yeah. Against my physician. You know, I got a family doctor. I have sleep apnea. I wanted it not for any of the above shit. I wanted it because they said it helps you lose weight. That I would exercise more. And I would recover more. Well, I'll tell you what, man. It was giving me fucking anxiety. I was getting anxiety on planes. I was getting anxiety when I was working out. When I'd be out of breath, I was getting horrible anxiety. I went to a psychotherapist. I didn't know what the fuck it was. And like I told you on the phone, I got a call that had a high red blood cell count. And I was a little upset at first. And I got off it, and I started lifting weights because all I was doing was jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. I was just doing jiu-jitsu and just going to the YMCA. And I tell you, man, I got off it, and I joined the kettlebell class, and I go 3 days a week, sometimes 2 if I have to leave town. And Ben, I feel fucking better than I did on the testosterone. The only benefit from the testosterone was my dick was hard 24 fucking hours a day. If I was eating sushi, my dick would get hard. If I was eating a cheeseburger, my dick would get hard. And I'm not the type of guy that would cheat on my wife, but I did sit outside a few massage parlors a few times just to wonder what it'd be like for a nice little Asian chick to fucking rub me down and lick my nuts. But I never had the balls, Ben. Like, I never... And that was it. That's the only advantage I got. That if I really wanted to... The only advantage I got to the testosterone was if I was a 50-year-old fucking dirty fuck and I got myself like one of those 28-year-old hoes that you just take them shopping. That's the only... And I could fuck the shit out of them, drill them till their fucking blood's coming out of their ears. That's the only advantage I had, Ben. Besides that, I didn't really feel the thing. And right 2 weeks after that was when the explosion started on TV for testosterone. Sue your doctor. You know, fucking blood clots. Like 2 weeks after that. So, you know what? They did me a fucking favor.
Well, you know, but that's, like, even just saying that, the only thing I noticed from it was, you know, my dick was hard all the time. I mean, you look at how many ads you see for, you know, erectile dysfunction pills. I mean, that and alone is going to get a lot of people to think, like, okay, I'll sign up for that. But then, you know, like you're saying, now that a lot of doctors are being sued, they think it's linked to heart attacks or strokes. I mean, we don't really know what happens from you doing synthetic testosterone for years, and that is the problem too. Is you start doing it, and once you get on it, it's hard to get off because your body is going to stop producing its own testosterone once you're injecting synthetic testosterone regularly. So, I mean, you kind of lock people into this cycle of doing it without really knowing where it's going to lead or where it's going to end. You know, and that's, you know, for regular people, I mean, I think that those are just personal concerns. Everybody has to answer for themselves. Is, you know, what's worth it? You know, what is what you get out of it worth of these risks and the unknowns that go along with it? For professional fighters, I think it's a different situation because it's not just about you. It's also about the landscape of the sport. Because if you're getting on testosterone and I got to fight you in 6 weeks, man, I'm going to think I got to have something. Right? This guy's going to go in there. You know, he's injecting this stuff and getting jacked up and going and working out and recovering faster than I will. I got to do something because otherwise he's going to beat me up and take my money. And it creates basically this kind of arms race in the sport where everybody's looking for something better, some other kind of edge that they can get on. And then the guys who don't even want to do it, the guys who are worried about the risk to their health with this kind of stuff, in order just to stay in the sport, they feel like they've got to do it. Like, I think that's the really pernicious part that sneaks in there that people don't think about.
Was the GSP situation a little bit about TRT? Is this what he was saying? Do you believe he was always clean from testosterone?
You know, he didn't specify TRT. He kind of just said that drug testing in general in the sport was lacking, and he's right about that. I mean, I don't. You can't really disagree with him on that. You know, like we said before, that if anybody who knows here's when I'm going to be tested, it's really easy to beat that test, and the testing is not comprehensive enough what they're tested for. So he's right that the testing in MMA right now it allows people to cheat and get away with it if they're doing it smart. So, you know, I can understand him bringing that issue up now. It did seem like he said this, that he wishes he had done it sooner and done a little more for it, and I can understand him feeling that way now. But I also think, you know, if he wants to get behind it now, whether he's in the sport or just outside of it, whatever, I think he should, because I think he's the kind of guy who he's respected enough. He's got enough money that he's got some independence from the UFC. He doesn't have to worry about them, you know, bashing him or you know, barring him from ever returning. You know, he can do it. He can be that guy who can kind of push for this and put some pressure on the athletic commission and the UFC and improve the sport for everybody, you know, and I'm glad to see him do it. I hope he sticks with it.
No, it was really, when he started talking about it, I read a few articles and whatnot, and it really made me think how a champion, you know, I mean, he's a real champion, the guy. I don't know what happened in the last couple of years or what happened with this fight or up to it, but that he was so concerned about it, which gave me, you know, it let me know that maybe he wasn't doing anything at all, you know.
Yeah, it makes you think that way. And, you know, it's tough you can always throw around the accusation itself, and, you know, even a guy who's never tested positive for anything like him, you know, the Lance Armstrong situation, I think, kind of disabused a lot of those notions that, hey, if you just pile up enough clean drug tests, that you must be clean. I mean, you can beat those forever. So it becomes a thing for pro athletes. It's like with politicians' sex scandal, you know? Like, I mean, as soon as you hear the rumor of it, you're ready to believe it, just because it happens so often. So, you know, the fact that he is so passionate about it now, I think, is the thing that is most likely to make people think that he is clean and was always clean, because otherwise, you know, why would you go out of your way to make such an issue of it?
Now, how will this change the landscape of the sport in the next year or so? What do you think? Because I was thinking about it before I asked you. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that what it's going to do mainly is the guys who are on it now, guys like Chael Sonnen, Vitor Belfort, you know, Dan Henderson. It's a bad deal for those guys, because for a while the UFC was cool with it, the athletic commissions were cool with it, everybody, you know, kind of had their back there, and now they've kind of decided very suddenly, you know what, no, we're not anymore. It's politically inconvenient for them. They're taking too much pressure, too much heat for it, so they want to distance themselves from it. And it leaves these guys holding the bag. I mean, for Vitor Belfort and Chael Sonnen, you know, especially for Vitor Belfort, because he got right there to the title shot. He got to the precipice there, and now they're telling him, okay, you have to find a way to do without this really powerful chemical that may have shut off your body's natural ability to produce the same things. That's not going to be easy to deal with. I mean, different people, you know, are probably going to deal with it differently, but now he has to figure out how, you know, his body's going to react and how he's going to move forward from that. You know, it might just be a matter of he takes 6 months and gets himself back to normal. It might take a year. Who knows? And it's also a perception problem for him, because if he goes in there and, you know, he does eventually get a title shot, and say Chris Weidman's still the champion, he fights Chris Weidman and he loses, something that could, you know, happen to you regardless of what you're on, because Chris Weidman is really damn good. But if he goes in there and he loses, of course people are going to say, you know, it was the TRT all along. The TRT made you who you are. Without it, you're nothing. You know, without it, you didn't deserve to be here even. And that's probably going to be unfair. But, I mean, that's kind of the bargain that these guys struck without really realizing, without thinking far enough ahead to think what's going to happen when all these agencies and organizations pull out of this, and I get branded as, you know, the face of TRT. And that's kind of what's happened to Vitor.
You know, it's how old have you been? I don't mean to pry in your personal life.
I'm 34.
You know, I'm 51. It's amazing how this issue has popped in all sports, except maybe basketball, the last 15 years. You know, it started with baseball and heavy, and now it's into MMA. You know, and it's amazing how I remember being a kid and you never heard about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when you...
Well, and that is something, I mean, I think people bring up is, hey, what did people do, you know, what would Rocky Marciano do if he thought he had low testosterone? You know, he'd deal with it. He
eat
didn't
a
have any
fucking
other
steak.
choice.
You eat a fucking steak and you bang one out and you know, what the fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do in the 50s? I mean, you look at guys like Sergio Oliva and those guys. Maybe they were doing like Decker de Roblin or no, the one from Germany. What's the one that bulks you up? The fucking pill, D-ball, Diana ball, or something like that. Maybe the Germans had something back then. I don't know the evolution of, but it wasn't to the point. What did Ben? Remember when I was a kid? It was Ben Weeder. That was his name. He supplied supplements in a Muscle Fitness magazine. I think it was even his magazine. But well, yeah, you're right. What would Rocky Marciano did if he found out he had low testosterone? He'd eat spaghetti and meatballs. Right? I mean,
well, you know, and I mean, I think the thing with, especially with sports, is like a lot of people will say, hey, you know, just take away the testing altogether. Let them all do whatever they want, and let's see, you know, that'll create some kind of new level playing field in a way that's, you know, above the current one, and then, you know, just let them sort each other out. And the problem is, I mean, I think it was in the Atlantic, a philosopher there made a really good argument about that, where he talked about with the Olympics, where remember a couple of Olympics ago when all the swimmers had those suits, and it was like these special suits that they were getting made, and they were really expensive, and you could only use them a certain number of times, but they started just, you know, shattering records. And then pretty soon it was like, okay, if you want to compete at all, you got to have one of those suits. Doesn't matter if you're the best in the world. These other guys who are almost the best in the world had the suits. They're going to kill you. You got to get the suit to get in there. And eventually it becomes, you know, not really the point. I mean, the point of the whole swimming competition was to see who the best individual swimmer was. If the point was to see how fast can you get from one end of the pool to the other, you'd use a boat. You'd use a jet ski. You know, you wouldn't even be bothering swimming. That's not the point. The same thing with fighting. I mean, we want to see who the best fighter is, not who has the best, you know, lab at home, who has the best chemistry set. And it's especially concerning because, hey, if you lose a swimming race, fine. You lost, you know, you're sad, whatever. You lose a fight, you might have brain damage, you know, especially these guys who are saying, hey, I might have low testosterone as a result of getting hit in the head. Well, then you definitely shouldn't be injecting testosterone so you can get hit in the head more. And those are real problems that people are going to face, and it's a lot worse than in other sports. I mean, somebody can get really hurt here, somebody can get killed, and I mean, MMA is already fairly new and sometimes on shaky political ground, depending on where you go and what the climate is. Imagine if somebody gets killed while somebody else is using testosterone with, you know, official permission from the organization. It would be a disaster.
you know, you have a question, Lee?
Well, not about the TRT. I had a question about the fighter who got banned yesterday for something he did like 3 or 4 years ago. So keep talking about this.
Right.
Oh,
Real choke, yeah.
Yeah, the one with from the Air Force.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it's terrible to hit your wife, but he did it 3 or 4 years. Like, it was a while ago. I was surprised to see that they took him out for something he did that long ago.
But you know, I think some of that might have been like what did he tell the UFC about it? You know?
So he hit it? Okay.
I mean, well, I think that from what I've read, you know, I haven't talked to him about it or talked to the UFC about it yet, but from what I've read, you know, he told them, hey, I have, you know, a misdemeanor assault on my record, but this was in the military. You know, he was kicked out of the Air Force for it, and it was kind of dealt with by the military, and it didn't seem like he let them know all, you know, the full extent of the case there. And so, you know, it's one thing if you tell the UFC, hey, you're a fighter with a misdemeanor assault on your record, there's a lot of that, you know, and there's even, you know, a few fighters in the UFC who have domestic violence stuff in their past. I think maybe one of the things that the UFC was reacting to was they had kind of pumped this guy up based on his military service a little bit. Then this comes out that he was kicked out of the military for beating his wife, and it comes out, you know, just right before the fight, and they feel forced into a corner where they got to do something. I mean, I think that you raised an interesting issue where, hey, how long ago does it have to be? You do something wrong once, do we punish you for it for the rest of your life? At the same time, you know, you go beating up your ex-wife and hitting her on the head with a knife handle, man, that's pretty bad.
Oh, Jesus.
Especially if you want to try and then turn around and make a living as a fighter of all things. I mean, those are tough questions to answer, I agree.
We live in a corporate world, Lee. Okay, which changes the rules on a lot of things. It's not it doesn't. It also doesn't force you to give me an answer. You know, in 1994, I was in Denver, and some girl ran up to me and jumped, like girls jump to say hello. Mm-hmm. And I went to grab her, and 3 days later, somebody said I grabbed her ass, and I got thrown out of a comedy club for sexual harassment. You know me. If I'm going to grab your ass, I'll fucking ask you. And if I'm going to grab you, I'm not going to waste it on your ass. I'm going to grab that fucking monkey and squeeze that motherfucker till you tap. I'm not a fucking sexual predator, but because of that, I have sexual harassment. I live my life, you know? If somebody would have asked me, I'd tell them the fucking truth, and I'd tell them just how I told you. The Comedy Works had to call me the next day and let me go. Mm-hmm. No matter if the girl was a stripper, no matter if she was a freak, that wasn't the consequences. It was plain and simple. I grabbed the girl's ass when she jumped on me. I learned to live with it. Did me a favor. It got me out of Denver and made me who I am today. It made me work harder. So every situation has a different story. You know, yeah. I have felonies. I go get a job, and it comes up. 30 years ago, you took the boss in the back and said, "Listen, I stabbed a bitch a couple of years ago. We got a problem here? No, come here for 30 days, sell some cars, and we'll forget all the fuck about it."
Yeah.
That's not the issue anymore.
And I'm not saying he shouldn't, like, I mean, if he beat up his wife with a knife handle, it's terrible. But it's just when I saw the article, I was like how did, like, it just seems like it's a fighting organization, so anything negative with fighting, they probably just had to throw him out.
Well, we just had a situation a few weeks ago with Thiago Alves. One of the Thiagos, correct? Mm-hmm. Ben? Thiago Silva. I don't mean to disrespect any Thiagos out there. Thiago Silva. So I think the UFC is covering themselves now. A couple of years ago, somebody tweeted a racial slur or something, a gay slur. Remember, Ben? And there was a problem then also. I forget who it was. So the UFC works very hard to have an image. And as a fighter, you got to act as a professional, you know, and that's in anything. So, but on the other hand, I also saw Dana White with, what's the fucking golf player? The black guy that was cheating on his wife.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods had on. So I know that Dana White believes in second chances.
Yeah. It's just what they do, I guess.
It's just a corporation. Do you feel the same way, Ben, or?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think the UFC has to be, or they feel like, especially that they have to be really careful about that stuff because, you know, like you said, an NFL player beats his wife, and you know, depending on who he is and the circumstances, you know, maybe it'll be in the news for a couple of days, and then you know, he'll be back at practice in a week or two. The UFC, I think they know that. They're already, you know, it's a professional fighting organization. People already kind of look at it like it's a bunch of tattooed skinheads, you know, kicking each other in the balls. That impression is still out there among, you know, a sizable portion of the population. They have to deal with that. So I think especially, you know, the UFC has female fighters. It has a lot of female fans. And so they should take stuff like violence against women very seriously. You know, they should send a message that they're not okay with that kind of stuff. I mean, the question of how long does the guy need to be punished? Can he ever become a professional fighter after something like that? I mean, that is a tough one. I did a story a couple of years ago on a guy, Dan McGuan, who he served time for manslaughter. You know, got in a street fight. He got in a street fight with some kid. The guy died. He did a few years in prison and then got out and tried to become a professional fighter. And as soon as people found out about that aspect of his past, you know, he basically got pretty much run out of the sport because of it. And it was that same kind of thing of, you know, how long should your past follow you? And how long do we say for each crime does it follow you? I mean, you look around at a UFC event, you see Mike Tyson, and it's like our culture has decided, okay, we're cool with Mike Tyson now. Whatever he did, you know, we're fine with it. And it seems like that kind of stuff, you can never guess what the rules are going to be. You know, some people it works one way, for some people it seems to work another way. And I think every person has to decide kind of how they feel about that stuff.
It's fucking crazy. It really is crazy. Now, how long have you been doing the articles on TRT? Because he says you've been following it for a while.
For a couple of years, probably 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I mean I think after Chael Sonnen's first fight with Anderson Silva is when it kind of entered the mainstream consciousness for MMA fans. Because, you know, he tested positive for elevated testosterone and made that argument that he needed it, that he had hypogonadism, that he needed testosterone. And then, since then, it seems to have become a lot more public. So kind of ever since then, I've been talking to endocrinologists and doctors and regulators, and a lot of people trying to figure out what to do about it.
How do you feel? Do you feel this will help the sport? Do you feel this will hinder it?
Well, I feel like getting rid of it helps the sport, because I know a lot of guys who, I've talked to a lot of fighters, even guys who retired fairly recently, who said, this is one of the reasons I retired, is because these guys are out there on that stuff, and I don't want to get on it. I feel like that's the way I would have to get on it if I wanted to compete. And I think, that definitely exists. I played, 1 year of college football at a small college where everybody was on steroids, and you knew that, hey, if you want to play on this team and you're not way too good to be at this small college to begin with, then you'll probably have to get on it because everybody else is. And you either make the choice to do that or you go do something else. And I went and did something else. So I understand how those guys come to that conclusion. I think, though, that it's only a start. It's only getting rid of the thing where people had permission to cheat. Now you got to increase the drug testing and make the drug testing so that you're actually going to catch the guys who are doing it without permission, because there's a lot more of those guys. I guarantee you there's a lot more people doing synthetic testosterone than the guys who had the permission for it. Because when you go and you file that paperwork to get permission to do it, you put the microscope on yourself. Everybody knows what you're doing and they're watching you. It'd be a lot easier to do it underground and make sure that you're doing it so that you don't get caught. And it's really probably not that hard to avoid getting caught. But I mean, that's got to be the next step, is that if we want a clean sport, then we have to have real drug testing. We don't have it right now.
It's funny how if it's not testosterone, they'll find something else. You
right.
and I both know that they'll find something else, and it's a shame that they'll go underground. I read a statement that Chael Sonnen says that he might have to retire if he doesn't use it, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. If you're a fighter, you're a fucking fighter. I mean, these guys in boxing lied about their ages. Who's the guy Muhammad Ali knocked out? Sonny Liston in 64 or something? People said that guy was walking around at 45. I don't think there was fucking testosterone. I don't even know. But why would he quit?
Thing. It puts those guys in a spot, right, where they have to say, look, I need this to compete. But then if they're winning and they're having a lot of success, like Vitor was, they also want to turn around and say, but the testosterone has nothing to do with it. Like I do this, and it can't be both those things. It can't be something where I absolutely have to have it. I have this medical need and I'll be at a severe, unovercomable disadvantage if you don't let me have it. But then when I have success, it was all me. Don't even, look at the man behind the curtain there. It can't be both those things.
It's fucking amazing. Ben, I want to thank you for calling in. Where can the listeners find you at?
They can find me on MMAJunkie.com. That's where most of my articles go. Also, sometimes in the print edition of USA Today. And you can find me on Twitter at BenFolksMMA.
And you just cover MMA, or you cover college football?
MMA.
You bad motherfucker, you. That's why I love you. When are they going to get rid of Ariane now that we have, what's her name? You look at those flower girls, whatever, those ring girls, and their days are numbered. Once Ronda Rousey, those days are numbered. What's up? You going to ask him something, Lee?
Well, Ben, I was just interested, just a little bit off topic. As a writer, for someone now who you see to write for MMA Junkie, and sometimes you get into the print, I used to work in TV, and I see that the way that it's changing. So I'm interested. Now I'm doing a podcast, and it's new, but it seems like more people are going to different mediums. How are you adapting with writing and going from more, less print to more online to, when you say it, you should probably say, oh well, I'd prefer to have more stuff in USA Today, but maybe MMA Junkie now has a higher readership than they do. So it's how is that affecting what you're doing?
Yeah, it does. And, there are a lot more avenues for people. Like, I also do a podcast. I do the co-main of that podcast. It's something I do once a week with Chad Dunn, who's a writer for Bleacher Report. And it's one of those things where it gives you a lot more opportunities to kind of get out and do it yourself rather than having somebody give you the opportunity and, put you in the paper and that kind of thing. And while it's cool, it's cool to be in the paper. My parents get a big kick out of it. They can go and buy the paper and see it. But then it's also one of those things where, if you have a story on page 6C of the sports page in USA Today, it's a huge circulating paper in the United States, but you don't know necessarily how many people actually read your article and are going to remember it. And even if you remember it, it's not like if they read you on the internet, not only can you see exactly how many people read your article, they also can take action right there. Okay, this guy's on Twitter. They go find out. I mean, it's way easier for the readers to connect with you immediatally and to remember you and for you to generate a following that way. And it's also easier for, like, a lot of people sometimes will send me emails and ask, like, how do I kind of get started with sports writing? And now it's easy. I mean, you just start your own website, start writing for it. And if you're any good, eventually somebody will see it, hopefully. Before it was, you needed the editor at some newspaper to give you a chance and hire you on. So, I mean, I think there's a lot more opportunity now because there's opportunity for everyone. It's a little harder to stand out. There's a lot more people kind of shouting into the void there. So it forces you to kind of hone your skill and hone your craft so that you stand out.
Okay, and do you feel, is there a stigma for online writers? Like when you go to the events, do the people for ESPN or a place like that, do they look down on you, or is it so prevalent now that almost everyone there works for an online site?
I think maybe there used to be that more. I think now that's kind of gone away because I don't think there's really anybody that you see at UFC events who doesn't do some online stuff, and that's kind of, especially with MMA, because the fan base is so plugged in. It's a younger fan base, and the internet is a big part of what kind of helped MMA through that dark period when couldn't get on pay-per-view and didn't have any big TV deals, and everybody was going to websites to figure out what was going on and read about events. So, and I think that now everybody just expects that you're going to write for the internet. Before it used to be, you're a blogger in your mom's basement, and now it's definitely, there's definitely a different perception. Now it seems more like newspapers are, that some 65-year-old dude sitting there on a typewriter writing for the newspaper every day.
It's amazing how a young man today that's interested in writing, who gets out of college, can't get a fucking job. You're right. Could sit in his house, go to one of those wiki pages, build a website, write on it, and after 6 months, if he's any good, he'll get a little sponsor on there. People start reading his shit. He can make T-shirts up. He can put a podcast together, and you're a one-man fucking operation out of your basement.
Right, and I mean, I think it's more like merit-based then. It's not just like, who do you know, and did you get the right degree from the right place? It's, do people want to read your shit? And then that's kind of what helps figure it out, is like you put it up there, and you also, if you put it up there and you have somewhere to write every day, you're going to get better. So, I mean, I think it's good for everybody that way. It just forces, it forces everybody to find a way to get noticed because the field gets a lot more crowded that way.
I think that there's not enough good writers for MMA right now. It's so new that people are still getting to the genre on it. I mean, anybody who would get into writing for MMA right now, if they really paid attention, if they were good, they would get noticed quickly, I think. That's just what I feel.
And I think that there's plenty of guys who have done that. I think like my podcast co-host Chad Dundas, he's a really good writer, and I think MMA has been a good way for a lot of people to see that. Chuck Mindenhall at MMAfighting.com is a good writer. I think you see a lot more of that happening now. I think it used to be before, where it was just whoever could be at the events, regardless of whether they could write a good sentence or not. They're going to be the guy we rely on. And now that it's been around a little bit longer and we've gotten some good writers into it, now we're actually seeing more stories being done, some real craft in there. So I think it's on an upward trajectory.
You're right, man. Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you calling on an early Monday morning. Keep warm up there in Missoula. If you find out where the 8-Ball Inn is, say hello.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much for calling, man. Have a great week.
All right. You too.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know much about the TRT and how it worked. And I'll tell you something that was bothering me lately. And I'm not saying this because I really don't know the stories, bro. Mm-hmm. There was a big window in my life where I didn't pay attention to. I was too busy with comedy. I was busy with comedy and child support. That was it. From 90 to fucking 2005, 2004, I was focused on one fucking thing. So I missed a lot. And I was thinking about this because I read a little bit about Woody Allen.
Okay.
So he's got a wife.
Yeah.
A wife adopts a kid. Mm-hmm. One day he just starts dating a fucking kid. Mm-hmm. Nobody says a fucking word.
He makes great movies.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know the whole story because I was too young, but from what I've heard, it's like the wife adopted it, and maybe even before they were married or something, and it's they were hanging out, and she was old enough, or 17 or 18, and then when they broke up, they got together. It's creepy, but it's just
the sickest thing I had ever heard. And I never digested it. And I asked my wife at lunch about 3 weeks ago to tell me the story. And when she told me, it let me know how fucking hypocritical, especially the people are out here.
Yeah.
Because you forgive everything if he puts you in a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying the situation is garbage. I mean, it's just somebody else would be screaming to high heavens.
Yeah.
And people do scream from time to time. Like, I read little articles.
Well, they just had that one actress, I forget her name, who was his daughter too, who she said abused him. He abused her a month or two ago. I forget the actress's name. But I mean, I guess it's kind of like the Michael Jackson. Like, we're doing the podcast in the 90s, but it's kind of like the Michael Jackson thing. I mean, there are 18 kids who said they touched him or he touched them. Some of them have to be telling the truth. It's like, I mean, it's that guy. I mean, Woody Allen's made great movies, but he's a creepy old Jew. I mean, I don't know. He likes Asian girls.
It really is crazy. Let me give some shout outs to my main man Greg and Lynn Powers. Thank you for sending me the sweatshirt for all the love. Lek Money, Connor Scotland, David Camargo, Rick Moncrief, Joshua Woodworth, and Cesar Flores. I love you, motherfuckers. Thank you for paying attention and doing your fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Also, I want to give a shout out to HuluPlus.com. They ain't fucking around. You understand me? Binge on TV shows. Watch them when the hell you want. Plus is the fucking word here because it's tremendous. Now, if you go to the website, HuluPlus.com, they give you 7 days for free, $7.99 a month, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to give you 2 weeks for free and $7.99 a month. You go to Hulu Plus or you go to joeydiaz.net and there's a Hulu Plus box. In the box, you press
Joey.
Boom. 2 weeks gratis. Bam. $7.99 a month. Who's fucking better than me? You don't have to go out of the house. You don't got to do this. You don't got to do that. They got Brooklyn Nine-Nine on there. They got the show with the dirty wife on CBS. They got everything on there. Documentaries.
Yeah, they have a cool one that they do themselves.
Yes,
it's like inside the world of sports mascots.
My wife watches all that shit.
Oh yeah. So I want to check that one out.
She's on Hulu constantly. So my wife's a pain in the ass. So Hulu works for my wife. HuluPlus.com will work for you. Go to joeydiaz.net and in the box you press
Joey.
You get 2 weeks gratis, $7.99 a month. I also want to give a shout out to my main motherfuckers, Dollar Shave Club. Why walk around looking like Abe Lincoln when you get a fucking razor for $1, $6, or $9 a month delivered to your fucking door? Not only that, not only do they do all that stuff, but they got tremendous products. They got a one wipe Charlie to wipe your asshole that smells like peppermint and keeps your hemorrhoid tasting free, gluten free. And they also have a fucking this thing that I got to get more for.
The shave butter.
Upgrade your fucking shave to the shave butter. $8. You understand me? It takes care of fucking ingrown hairs. It got vitamins on your face. It's made with this black fucking willow stuff they put on their face in Africa, and the hair falls right off to the root. So Dollar Shave Club, $1, $6, or $9 a month.
You can't beat it.
You can't beat that. Delivered to your door.
And you can do it once every 2 months too.
And you can do it every 2 months if you don't shave as much. You can back up the razors. It's a great fucking program. You don't have to go to fucking some pharmacy once a month and stand online like a fucking mook. And then you bring them home and one falls and they break. No. And let me tell you something. The razor they sent you, the handle, that's a weapon. You get 2 of those, you put a spring, you take a string, that's a fucking new chuck in any society. You understand me? And that's how we do it here. I also want to give a shout out to escapepodtank.com. Listen, as far as flotation tanks go, I've been asking around. These fucking people know what they're doing over Escape Pod Tank. I took to my man Jeremy the other day. Me and Lee are going to take a ride to San Diego to one of their spots. They have some tanks down there. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna make a video. What do you think about that, Lee?
I love it. No, I've been wanting to do it for a while.
Yeah, let's go down there. So sometime in May, we're gonna go down there, and we're gonna make a video of myself and Lee going in a fucking tank. I'm gonna blow shotguns in his face.
Are we gonna take a gumi on the way down or something?
Eat the whole fucking gumi solo, like John Lennon in '69.
I might not come out of that thing.
Who gives a fuck? You don't come out for a few weeks.
I love.
You go in there and dream about enchiladas and fucking pussy.
I'm a Jew. I love. It sounds like a sauna. Like it sounds like it's like
a spitz.
Yeah,
nice.
I love
a little
it.
massage, your little pinguita, and everything's back. When was the last time you pulled the skin back on your pinguita?
You can't do that in
you can do whatever you want.
Tank it's you floating around with
Who
you.
gives a fuck? It's Epsom salt in hot water at temperature that matches your skin. 96.8.
98.6. Yeah.
98.6, the same temperature as your skin.
Yeah.
So when you go in there, you don't even feel the water on your skin. You close your eyes and you fucking go to a different universe. EscapeBotTank.com. Go to the website. They got residential. They got fucking industrial tanks. Take a look at all of them. I guarantee you, if you do your shopping and look around, you're going to save 2 to 3 G's. Then, after you save 2 to 3 G's, you mention that you know Uncle Joey. They give you an additional $250 off. You can order it and install it yourself, or they can fly out and install it for you for an additional extra charge. You got to put them up, feed them, smoke weed with them, do bong hits for Jerry's kids. But EscapePodTank.com, they're fucking solid.
And they have a great website. So, like, because we don't know everything about it. We know the basics. Email them or call them. Like, I mean, you said like, Jeremy, the owner, is great. Just ask him some questions about it.
He's a bad motherfucker. I love him to death. He's honest. He's a good old boy up there in Nebraska. So give him a holler, all right? And that's it. What the fuck you want from me?
What the fuck?
You know about TRT. Now you know about sticking to your fucking roots when you're a young man, whatever, for a young woman. Let's say you were a ballerina, whatever the fuck you are. Don't quit now. Fucking stick it out, because that'll keep you in that thing. That'll keep you thinking like you were when you were 13, which is the most important thing. Think about it. When you were 13, you knew what you wanted to do. You looked at people who smoke cigarettes and you called them creepy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had this fucking view of the world. That's not a bad view. It's really who the fuck you are. But as you get older, you taint it and you throw shit at it, negativity, and fucking you listen to the news and they talk about gym teachers that fuck kids up the ass, and it fucks you up. You don't want that in your mind.
Right. You don't. And it's crazy how as you get older, the more things you try to quit. Like I remember that as a kid.
What do you want to quit?
No, nothing now. But I'm saying like when I was a kid, like when you're not the best at something, like I quit soccer and baseball, and I did taekwondo for like 8 or 10 years. I was never the best at anything, but I got up until a red belt, and I should have waited. If I did it for one more year, I probably would have got a black belt.
You were throwing little sidekicks.
Sidekicks for Jesus. I had my favorite trophy was in first grade. I won a tournament. Is it either for forums or for fighting? It was probably forums, if I had to guess. And when I got it, I remember I weighed in. I was 45 pounds, and the trophy was as tall as me. I had to throw it away when my mom moved because she couldn't. Why was she gonna carry a trophy from first grade? But it was I did it for years. I had a couple of trophies. I remember how proud I am. Basketball trophies and karate trophies. I had a little trophy wall. I had them all stacked up.
I had a little basketball fucking trophy, and I still remember that one time I scored 31 points. I had a little article that said, Coco Diaz drilled home. Drilled home. You understand me, Lee? When was the last time you drilled home a motherfucker? Drilled them home, cocksucker. Not like that. Not sexually. But very disgusting.
You should give a. Why haven't you given me a trophy? I feel like adults should get trophies.
Sure, I'll give you a fucking trophy. How about a trophy of my fucking cock? How about
if
that?
it's
All
a
right,
trophy, I'll take it.
Fucking trophy. You're 15. You're 25 years old. No more fucking trophy.
I would
you know your trophy is a $100 bill when you go to the Bank of America and you deposit.
How happy would you be if I came in and handed you a trophy of $100 bill? Here you go.
I'd fucking smash in the head.
No, you wouldn't. You would, but you look at it and you take it home. You put it in the desk.
Are you fucking crazy?
No, who doesn't like getting a trophy?
I don't want no fucking trophies. All right.
People give him a trophy.
Let's give him a trophy of hummus.
I'll take it.
I'm disgusted. I'm gonna be at Fort Lauderdale this weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday with my main man Edwin San Juan.
Oh, that's a good show.
Ricky Boom Boom Cruz direct and shit. I haven't seen Ricky. Used to live up here. And one night I took him to some house to see some chick suck a guy's dick. The next week we're at the Tempe Improv, myself and the other Jew, fucking Ari Shafir. How's that one for you? He's probably on his way down driving right now from San Jose.
Can you believe they drove?
They're like fucking Puerto Ricans on the 4th. Oh. I can't believe it. I really can't. You know, I believe in saving time and energy and shit. This fucking guy, he's out there driving across country. They want to stop at some fucking place. They want to stop at some place and fuck around. Go fuck yourself. What's wrong with fucking people? Everybody got time to fuck around, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. We got a great podcast on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale. I'm happy that this guy called in today from the TRT and shit like that because I had Berdici call in, so I want to have perspectives, you know? Yeah. I talked to Berdici the other day. I'm happy I'm not on the testosterone. I'm doing a lot better. My breathing's doing better. I'm a lot fucking happier, so
that's great,
helped out. Yes, listen, man, you can put whatever the fuck you want. I always felt this way. If I'm going to do TRT or a steroid, it's because I'm doing something professional. I'm making 6 figures to the fuckers or to the floor or picking them up. I'm not going to do steroids to walk around to show people what. To do what? To get a tattoo on my arm like some fucking moron and cut my shirts off and have big arms and a fat fucking stomach? What the fuck is wrong with people, Lee? Just be yourself. Who gives a fuck? Fucking momos.
Fucking momos.
Fucking momos. Have a great day. Stay black. I love you guys. The Church of What's Happening Now. Always.
Always. Oh, and for people who have been asking, I'm going to try to do a YouTube page. They kept taking it down because of the music. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut both ends of the music off, so you might miss a little bit of the intro. But I get hit up every day for this YouTube page. And YouTube, if it has any music in it, they keep taking it down for us because we have a lot of subscribers. So I'm going to try to put it up, so I understand that. Listen to the other podcast we do, and I have...
What the fuck is going on? It's a beautiful day to be alive. You're alive. Thank God he gave you another fucking day to walk around this motherfucker. What you're going to do with it, that's your decision. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck are you kidding? It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's going to be 60 degrees here, 70 degrees. Fucking cold yesterday afternoon. I went to the park with my daughter. Fucking tremendous day at the park yesterday.
What happened to the park?
I almost killed 3 little fucking kids. I told you, that's the show I want to do. It's my real insides. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you watch the movie The Family with Robert De Niro, it's a fucking horrible movie. But there's scenes in it, like he's talking to somebody, then he loses his anger, and they show him stabbing the guy, but he really not stabbing him.
Okay.
So I was telling you yesterday that my daughter was walking on this like plank of death, you know, with that rattles and shit.
Yeah.
And some fucking little Chinese kid came up behind her and jumped, and she fell down. And the kid stopped to you know, say I'm sorry and stuff. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, listen, you little chink fuck, I'll kick you in the windpipe next time. I told my wife, she's like, you can't say that, but that's what goes in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how can it not when you're? I mean, you're like that with people you like, but it's your daughter. How I don't understand how there's not more of that stuff happening.
Oh, and then another little kid jumped, seen her coming. She's a baby. He saw her coming. He jumped in her way, and I seen myself. I had a sand bucket in my hand, going up to him, just hitting him 15 times with the sand bucket.
Kids are terrible, and then we wonder why there's so many asshole adults. It's because it's these kids when they were little. Like, people don't really change.
It's you know, it's just a part of growing up, man. You know, my daughter reacts to it really well. Like, she was at the park and somebody came and took her bucket, and she looked him straight in the face. This is my fucking bucket. She pulled it from me. And in my heart, I'm happy. My wife's like, you have to learn to share. Fuck that. Sharing is overrated. Keep that bucket, bitch. That's your fucking bucket. He wants the bucket, tell him to show you a dick, something. He's got to do something. You just can't give him the fucking bucket. You know what I'm saying?
When she's like 5 or 6, you two are going to take this town over. Like, when she can talk and you can tell her to do things.
Listen, dog. My dream is to build a fucking ninja chick.
Like the girl from Kick-Ass or whatever?
Fuck that. That chick could Kick-Ass could suck my dick. I'm talking about a monster of a woman. I'm talking about a woman with a heart of gold that ain't scared to stab you in the fucking neck and stick her for what she wants. That's what you want from a woman. That's what I want from a fucking woman. I don't want a fucking woman that's a rag doll. You know, it's not for me. I've never wanted a woman that's fucking submissive, that she's blinking and shit and bringing you water. I don't like that. I like a woman that holds her own because my mother held her own. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a woman that's, you know, can I get you something? Fuck you.
I just love the image of a woman blinking and bringing you water. Like that's just hysterical. But
it makes me feel bad as a man when I see a woman. We started the podcast late this morning. Okay. We came over last night. We're talking. He says, you need water. So this morning, I knew in the back of my mind I had to stop at 7-Eleven. I got to 7-Eleven at 5:55.
Okay.
I would have been here at 5:45. And I almost called you to come up with the camera because there was drama.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is where we do the office. It's a dark industrial street, you know. But there's a 7-Eleven on the corner. And 7-Elevens to me, late night now, are fucking scary.
Oh, yeah. Anything
When I
over
walk
24
into a
hours.
7-Eleven now at night, I fucking go in there, and if I got my gun in the car, I fucking pull it. I'm scared of 7-Elevens at night.
Yeah.
So this morning, it just happened. I pull up to the 7-Eleven. First of all, there's a guy talking to his girlfriend, and there's a cab. They just got out of a cab. And he won't let me pull in because he's talking to his girlfriend. So finally I beep, and the girl moves, but this motherfucker, this Donnie Wahlberg-looking motherfucker, Marky, he looked like Nate Diaz, the younger one.
Okay.
He stands there. So I don't give a fuck. You know me, I'll park around. I pull the car. He looks at me like, bro, you didn't move. Say something. So I get out of the car, and as I'm getting out of the car, she's walking into the 7-Eleven, and he yells off the top of his lungs, "Where the fuck are you going? I'm fucking talking to you, dumb bitch." And I just keep walking. Ooh. And I see her, and she's half Asian, half Spanish. You know, she's a pretty girl. She's been going through some shit, so I could tell that it's with him, you know. Mm-hmm. And then a black guy pops up and says, "Man, I got a little bit of money, but I don't know if we're going to have to walk over there and shit. We ain't got enough for a cab." And he just answered the phone. Oh, cop. They were looking for drugs. They were going to get drugs with this broad, you know, and he was down on the drugs, so he wanted more. So he's in a furious fucking mood.
So who's the cab driver then?
So cab driver is just some fucking Arab guy, whatever. Some white guy in the cab. Okay. He's in the cab. He's minding his own fucking business. He's not even involved in this. So she comes in. She's sitting in the back of 7-Eleven. I'm looking for water. Now, in the middle of all this, there's a kid going, "Joey Diaz, the church." And I'm like, dog, relax. "Joey Diaz, the church." I'm like, dog, relax. Take a look at what's about to go down, this motherfucker. He follows me into the hallway. Ball, and I'm like, dog, pay attention. Don't worry about fucking Joey Diaz, stupid. Look at what's to go down.
But see, that's the thing. A lot of people wouldn't. I'm not. If I saw that, I'd probably be a little bit nervous. But for people who haven't been in that situation, they probably just think it's some people arguing.
Well, still, shut your mouth. Don't worry about Joey Diaz or Jesus. Shut your mouth and watch the situation play out. What if this chick says something, this idiot pulls a gun, and you're talking to Joey Diaz? Get it together. This is what I tell people. Pay the fuck attention.
Yeah,
man.
fuck.
Pay fucking attention. Don't worry about the mountains or the beauty or the sky or the trees or what celebrity or what non-celebrity walked in. Pay fucking attention to life. So this is all going down. She's at the back of the store. The black guy's telling Marky Wahlberg they can't get drugs. They don't have enough money for the cab. So now they have to walk home. They have to walk to the drug dealer's house.
Jesus.
So you could tell she don't want to go. She's had enough. He's been torturing her or something. They walk out, and he turns around and goes, "Hey, let's go." And she walks out half meekly, and the cab driver now pulls up, goes, "Hey, where's my money?" And they go like, "Fuck it, we don't have enough money." And they give him like $3. He goes, "I'll call the police." And the chick is looking at the cab driver for support, like, "Get me out of this mess." Mm-hmm. And the cab driver goes, "Miss, are you getting in the car?" Like, to do her a favor. And this dumb bitch is like, "I don't have enough money." And the guy runs over and grabs her. And that's when people start calling the fucking cops. They don't have a car.
Oh, Jesus.
So they're dead. And they're like, then the guy from 7-Eleven is like, "Let her go." And right there, that's when bullets could start flying. This guy's on meth, or he's coming down on meth. This is when heroes fucking don't know this.
Okay.
People don't know this. Just leave that guy alone and dial 911 and wait till he walks away. Don't confront him. If he's not killing her, which he wasn't killing her, let the cops do their job. They'll get him a block away. If you call 911, there ain't nothing going on. It's 5 in the fucking morning. Mm-hmm. So I had to watch all this go down.
Yeah, of course.
And I mean, bro, they took off. They ran a block.
Yeah.
And by the time I pulled to this corner of Cahuenga, the cops were already coming. That's how fast. The cops are in this area. There's a police station down the corner. So for them to do so, they had them on the corner. They were, they're probably high, man. And you know what? You know why I knew that look on him? Same look I had when I kidnapped Campbell. You're just going to get in trouble.
Really?
It's a look that you're not going to stop till you end up in county jail. This is that type of look. Because you got the chick, you're going for drugs. There's too many variables going on. Something's going to go wrong.
Now, what's going on in their head? Because they know how much money they have. They know where the drug place is. Like, why even call the cab?
They took a cab to 7-Eleven to take money out of the ATM machine at 7-Eleven. Like, they were looking. So you're in a cab. You get in a cab, and you're like, we need cash. We got to stop at 7-Eleven. We're not from around here. Where's the 7-Eleven? You know what I'm saying? It's that type of drug mind. That's the drug mind that's working. You know, if you've been in that situation, you get in a car with somebody, you know, you don't know where it's going to end up. So these guys got a cab, took it to 7-Eleven, paid them, realized they didn't have enough money for the speed and the blow or the heroin and the cab. So they gave the guy a few fucking dollars. He called the fucking cops, and that's what went down. That's what happened.
How scary must it be being a cab driver? Like, they have all these things now, Lyft and Uber, and all these things where you're picking up normal people, and there's supposed to be a background check, but one of those people can then get shot, man. Like,
you know, background checks are expensive. Everybody says they do background checks, but really, do they? But do they really? You know?
I hope so.
I'm the same fucking way. You know? I don't know who you get in the fucking car with in these strange towns. But if they're working for a legitimate limo company, they got to be okay. I mean, knock on wood, I've never really had a problem with a limo driver or a car driver or a cab driver. You know.
Well, that's the other side of it. Not only who's getting in the cab, but maybe who's your driver.
That's the other side of it, too. You don't know what this guy's on his mind. You don't know if he's drinking. You don't know what the fuck he's been doing.
If you really get into it, like if you're really a nervous person, you might not leave the house. Like there's stuff to worry about at all times. It's just like you put it in the back of your mind.
Bad things happen to good people. And bad things could happen any time. You know, you have to cut the percentages. You know, those people didn't know what they were into. They're just doing. You know, when you're on fucking drugs, let me tell you something. When you're on drugs like that, and you're doing those late night drugs that keep you up and turn you into a cat in your eyes, fucking shine and shit. That does shit to you. You know, my mental state cannot be good from the shocks that those drugs put on me, you know.
How long do you think they've been up for multiple days?
No, they were probably up. They probably just started tonight, you know.
Okay.
I mean, their clothes didn't look dirty. They didn't look really creepy. They looked like they had started. They started coming down, but they wanted to keep it going. For people who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You go out on a Tuesday night, you have a few drinks, some fucking jerk-off pops up. He's got some powder or some meth or something. You do a couple bumps. Now it's 3 a.m, and you want fucking more, and it's Tuesday night.
Okay.
It's Tuesday night. People said, we're going to bed early. I'm not going to sell nothing tonight. So now you got to go looking. You know, you got to wake people up. You know, my last 2 years were... You know, I have to write this book. So I wrote categories of my dark years, like what I consider dark, you know, what I consider dark, which is living in an addiction, just surviving to control the addiction. That's all you're basically doing. Everything else is shit that you lead. It's the appetizer. You know, even though I was doing an Adam Sandler movie, and even though I'm doing spots and I'm traveling and all this shit, nothing compared to my little time with my little powder.
Okay.
That was the best time of my life. Nothing compared to that. Nobody's blowjob. Nobody let me fuck him in the ass. No movie with Charles Bronson. Nothing could bring the happiness to that little thing that I had at night. My little getaway, my little mountain getaway. And I remember that I would get high and not even look at myself in the mirror. The last 2 or 3 years of me getting high, I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. I was so disgusted with myself. But the machine keeps going, and you have to feed the hole, man.
Is it just the higher, the lower, the low? Like, why were you so disgusted with yourself?
It was just somewhere I didn't want to be. That's why when I look at dark times, I look from 79 to 81, from 86 to 88. Before I kidnapped Val, it was very dark for me. Like, yes, I was living, and I was making a good living, but I was basically living to feed the fucking hole. And unless you've been addicted, you don't understand what it's like, just to feed that hole. Everything else leads to feeding the hole. You know, you got a promotion at work, that's great. Now you can feed the hole twice on Tuesday nights. You know, it's just amazing how everything went to that. But after the longest yard, I thought all these doors were going to open for me. When they did not open, it took me someplace, man. Vicodins, pills, antidepressants. You know, I would fucking leave the house, but the only thing in mind was to come back and get high at night. In the daytime, I kept the animal in a cage. I was great in the daytime. In the daytime, I wrote my jokes. But the daytime, nothing moved on until I got my package settled. If I had $50 in my pocket, I put that 50 away. I knew there was a package tonight, so that rested me for the day.
Okay.
It was when I didn't have that $60 or that $50 that I didn't rest till I was going to get it, or I, you know, whatever, somewhere in there.
Now, do you think, and it's kind of stupid to do these sort of what ifs, but if knowing how hard of a work you are now, let's say you did a Longest Yard type movie, would something come from it since you didn't have the coke to worry about?
Nobody could control that. Nobody could control that, bro. It's what people see in the movie. I want Peter Segal to call in for Grudge Match on the 8th. The movie gets released April 8th, and I'm having a problem having him call it, so I might get a different actor from the movie. But I wanted to break down with Peter Segal for the people at home is that there's no formula for a great movie. There's no formula for a great movie. Grudge Match had all the tools of being a great movie, a phenomenal movie. It was a good, entertaining movie. But as far as the box office was concerned, it was a failure of sorts. Even though it made $30 million and overseas it made $30 million, I wanted Peter to break down what you don't know. You don't know what a movie's going to do until you do a fucking movie. You could put millions of dollars into advertising, and the movie had millions of dollars in it. It was on during every game, UFC, and it just didn't do what it did. People knew it was there. The combination was there, De Niro and Stallone, or at least we thought the combination was there. Kevin Hart pops a movie 2 weeks later. That's the biggest movie in January of all fucking time, with Ice Cube and Brian Callen, John Leguizamo. Was it a good movie? It's a great movie to ride along. But the point being that you never know what nothing's going to do. But the beauty of this is you have to try it. You have to get down and fucking try it, unless you're not going to fucking do nothing. Nobody knows. Nobody knew I was going to fucking do it. I'm still not a good stand-up comic. I've been doing it for 20 fucking years.
You don't think you're good?
I don't think I'm as good as like Bill Burr. I don't hear I'm not a monologist like that, I have thoughts. I'm talking about, you never know. But nothing's going to happen until you try it. Not know, then write it off.
Well, it's kind of a cool, and I don't really have the experience with it because I'm not a comic, but from what I hear comics talk about, the issue they have with actors and more so now with movies. So they wrote Grudge Match, let's say 2 years ago, a year ago. Then they had to cast it. Then they had to do the pre-production. Then they shot it. Then they edited it, and they decided it's going to come out Christmas Day 2013. They don't, up until the end, they don't really know what's going to come out with it, and they don't know what people are going to think, so they don't know how it's going to act. But you who say, I'm not a monologist, tonight you could go on stage and try telling a story like Bill Burr or like that. So that, it must be exciting because you don't have to put a year, 2-3 years of planning into it and put commercials on. You could go to any comedy club right now and just try it out.
Try that. I could tell the story about this morning with the chicken put comedy to it. Because I was laughing from it because she was sitting in the fucking back like all timid. I'm like, do something, run. I just couldn't, when I see women like that, I think of my daughter. And I think that's what I got to put in the book. First of all, you shouldn't have been with this fucking guy. This guy is just a loser.
Oh, yeah.
But this poor girl, I could just see the fear in her eyes. I could see the fucking confusion in her eyes. It's funny because I want to talk about something. You and I last night were talking about, I always had a real, Terry calls it my being white moment. Terry goes something. He says, you get these moments that you want to be white and you forget. And we're talking about when I went to the University of Colorado, that when I walked on that campus and I got to talk to different people, the field I wanted to get into is international law. So my plan was to go to law school and sharpen my Spanish and go over to Spain and become a lawyer. This is when I was 27, guys. And between you and I, it's like that mind fuck. Like, I didn't want to be anything. I wasn't going to be anything. I didn't have any confidence to be anything. I was just buying time. They were going to give me money to go to school. When you give me money, I don't give a fuck. I'll do whatever you want me to do. As long as you give me a nice check, I'll buy time, And it's weird how I was 27, 28, and I still didn't fucking know what I wanted to do. Like, this was nothing. This was years away, comedy. Comedy was still not even conceived. I was just going to school, selling cars. I would wear a suit, and I would go to these seminars after, like I was telling you, like after class in the student center. They have like these companies come in and talk to you about this and overseas opportunities and shit. And I would go with my little pad and sit there and make believe I was taking notes. In the back of my mind, I was scared shit, man. I was just buying fucking time. I'm like, why am I doing this? This is never going to happen. You know, I kept talking myself out of it.
Okay.
And here I was sitting in a room with all these people that had like major different fucking, degrees, and they'd this colleges. Oh, I got a BA from Yale and, a BS from the University of Spain. And here I am, I wasn't a felon yet. I had gotten arrested, but I wasn't a felon yet. I was convicted. I was charged, but never convicted. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was a man of many convictions. So, but it was so weird how I get emails from people, and I go to shows, and I talk to different people, and yeah, we ha-ha and ho-ho, but after a while, people come up, and they go, Ben, thank you, this helped me. I was stuck in this place. And it's so weird how we're all fucking stuck, man. We're all fucking stuck. The 20s has to be a horrible time for fucking anybody. Teenage years and then 20, that's not fair to people.
Yeah.
That's really not fucking fair. Like being a teenager from 15 on, being an ugly teenager, trying to get pussy and shit and trying to make it in the man's world, and then being 20 and being fucking confused on what the fuck you're going to do, and going to bed and having ulcers and going, Jesus Christ. Like I was thinking about Lee every 3 or 4 days. He's like, man, I sit there at night and I think, what am I going to do with my life? We're doing a fucking podcast. We're hanging out. We're having a good time today. Today, you never know what this might come into. You might get a call tomorrow from a microphone company. And they're like, Lee, we love how you talking to the microphone. Fucking come be the face of microphones or us. We'll give you $200,000 a year. And again, you're going to sit there and look at me.
I'm taking all calls, guys.
And you're going, Joey, I don't even know what the fuck, how this got, how this came to be,
I hope so. I hope so. And it's something I've dealt with since I've been out here. I'm always wanting to do stuff. I always want to do more. And I always feel like I'm behind. Like I always feel like I'm late. But everyone always tells me, like, when they're like, how old are you? 27, 28? I'm like 25. I'm like, oh, you're so young. It never feels like it. It always feels like I'm behind people and I'm not doing what I should be. But everyone's like, oh, you're so young. When I was 25, I had no idea what I was going to do.
You come here twice a week at 6 in the morning. Do you know what that's like for a 25-year-old?
Yeah, it's tough.
Do you have any idea what it's like telling a normal 25-year-old that they have to be somewhere at 6 in the morning? Do you have any fucking idea when people would tell me I had to be somewhere at 6 in the morning? I just look at them and go, right. Good. As long as you think that, that's great. When I pull up here and I see your car here, Lee, sometimes I shake my head. I'm like, where'd I find this fucking savage? You know how hard it is to tell a 25-year-old? And thank God you don't have a substance abuse problem or a drinking problem, or you even like to go out and have cocktails. You don't like to go out at night and have cocktails?
Not really.
So the other night you hooked up with Ashley. How was that? And her brother. Where did you guys go to meet?
We went to a bar on Ventura Boulevard. And
how's she looking?
Fine.
She fucked a black dude when she went to Boston?
No.
Yes, she did. She's a dirty whore.
I don't know. No. She really likes the guy she's with.
I thought he didn't fuck her right, and he fucked her from the bottom. And
I don't know, fucking. But anyways, she won't listen. It
how's her
doesn't matter.
body looking?
Great.
How's her face looking?
Good. She's just started a new job.
Did
so
you
she's a
smell
little
her
stressed.
breath?
No.
Did she have sperm on her breath? Did she have that little ammonia smell on her breath, like she just sucked 10 helmets? Where'd she get a new job? Where'd she get a job at?
I don't know. Writing place in Van Nuys.
A writing play?
Yeah.
What kind of writing play?
Like big, like technical writing, something. But you said this a while ago, like just leave them alone and they'll let you be. Like I haven't seen them in like 4 months, and they're great people. I love her and her brother, but it's just, I don't know. It's weird when you realize it's like, okay, we're friendly, but it's not like we're gonna hang out every day. And it's when you're younger, you think all your friends are gonna be your best friends. And
she still living in Northridge?
Yeah, they're thinking about moving, but
to where?
Here, I'm closer to the valley, but who knows? You
look at your friends in a weird way. I have a problem lately. I've been dealing with something lately about, I grew up with a lot of friends, but there was a core. There was 3 guys that I ran with for 2 years. I ran with them for a long time growing up, but for 2 years we became each other. It was myself, this guy Fernie Bassasudo, this guy Glenn Conti, and this guy Roger Holloway. I mean, we were fucking tighter than tight, It started junior year, and it went till '85. Our friendship and our love for one another. And then my friend Fernie disappeared in '81 when '83 when he lost $60,000 bookmaking. And he always felt, because he owed 60 and ended up owing 8. And me, I told the guy to go fuck himself. I got on a plane to Colorado. So he always felt that I should have stuck it out here with him when he lost his 60,000. I was gambling for money for Colorado. Whether if I won, it was great. If I lost, I didn't really care, because I was going to tell the guy to shut up his fucking ass anyway. I was 21. I didn't know about life. I didn't really know about karma. I thought you just told people to fuck off. And at that time, the world had told me to fuck off. So I was telling the world to fuck off. Okay?
Yeah.
So when I got back from Colorado or from Florida, or wherever the fuck I went, we were still friends, but it wasn't the same. And one day he told me, he goes, I always felt that, you should have paid him the $8,000. I paid him the 60. I'm like, dog, I wasn't paying him. I explained my situation, and he understood, and we didn't really see each other much. And then in '93, I bumped into him on Kennedy Boulevard, and he was with a girl, and he shook my hand, and then the girl says, this is him? And then I bumped into another dear friend of mine that I talk to every week now, and he told me that he bumped into him about 10 years ago. And out of the blue, he told my friend, it's your fault I'm fucked up, because when we were kids, you had parties at your house. So my friend was like, are you fucking serious? You're doing heroin. We used to drink beers and smoke pot behind the factory.
Yeah.
And you're doing heroin, and you're blaming that on me. So his brother's on Facebook, and I haven't asked his brother how the brother's doing, but he never recovered from that. He never really recovered from the gambling and the drugs and then my friend Glenn, who's a big shot at UPS. I mean, I love him with all my heart. If I ever had a brother, he was my brother. He's into Joel Osteen, and he doesn't drink anymore. And he has 2 kids with a black chick, and he's not with her.
Oh, okay.
He's not even with her. He just lives by himself. And I hear on the weekends he goes home and stays home because he's scared of life. He's got like 3 or 4 DUIs, 10 years ago and stuff. So he's very scared of life. And then Roger's my Goomba to the end, And I talked to Roger and his brother Timmy. They drove me to Opie and Anthony. Timmy, I talked to a lot more. Timmy was the driver when we robbed Michael's Jewelers in West New York. He was the getaway driver, and it's funny that I talk to him once a week. He's a driver in New York, and we communicate once a week. He listens to all the podcasts. He listens to, and I love him dearly. But his brother and me were tight. I was tight with the whole family. And when I went to do the Stress Factory in Jersey, some lady came up to me. She's like, "Hey, I'm Janet's hairdresser," and she said to say hello. I was that tight with the Holloways, but Roger, Fernie, and Glenn, I wish I did more with them. Mm-hmm. I wish I could get together with them for a tea. I don't give a fuck, a coffee. But it's never going to happen, and it's very sad. It saddens me because I always thought they were there. And trust me, I have other friends. I have Veneeri and Ascalese and James and George, and that I still talk to. Ralphie May, I told you last night, Ralphie May called. You were there.
Yeah.
They were a chance dragging motherfucking in Richfield Park, and George. He says the ribs were fucking sensational. So it really covers the spread, but it's sad. Because in my world, I still wanted them to be around. And if it was up to me, they'd still be around on a communication basis. I talked to Glenn's brother. It's funny. I talked to Glenn's brother, Roger's brother, and Fernie's brother. But I don't talk to each of them. So that's how tight I was with them and their families, man. I mean, I was everything. They were my everything. So if it was up to me, I wish I could share what's going on now. Have them on the podcast, talk about stories. It's impossible. And it breaks my heart, but it doesn't in a way. I'm happy that they're happy. I still talk to Roger's the best one I still talk to. When I call Roger, he still calls me Coco Loco. And Coco Loco, what are you doing?
Well, it's actually kind of crazy. It's that's friendship. But I had a dream last night. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but it was about somebody who had been married who broke up after like a long time, and it's just like you grow up thinking you're supposed to get married, but people change. It's just like since it's coming up closer, it's more prevalent in my life right now. I've been thinking about it. It's kind of a crazy thing to do. Like it's just
Get married?
Yeah. I mean, people change so much, and it hurts so much to break up. Like, why wouldn't you just stay like?
So then, what do? You live like Rick Ramos?
No.
And live in a one bedroom and wait for the world to end. And you know, I love Tom Likas. I've been on Tom Likas. I listen to his show, but he's got this world turning against women. Turning against women because you had one bad experience. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, there's a lot of bad people out there, and there's a lot of bad women, but there's a lot of good women. And women are going to cheat on you, and women are going to steal from you, and women are going to do crazy fucking shit, you know? But there's some women that are solid women, that all they want to find is love, too.
Oh, and
all they want is a companion. So you have to live this fucking life, man. You have to live this fucking life.
Oh, yeah, but let's say, even if you get a good one, like, not that they cheat on you, but let's say in 10 years you don't like that music anymore, you don't like, or just
you evolve, Lee.
Exactly.
Why don't I do Joey Karate videos? Why don't I put a gi on every fucking week and wrap it around my thing and have some fat guy with white hair throw kicks and keep giving you loser fucking picks, and there's 10% of people, Joey Karate's hysterical, whatever, because we fucking evolve.
Exactly.
You know, we evolve as human beings. So, but you gotta take that chance. What about the people that have been married for 50 fucking years? They don't get sick of each other.
Yeah, so that's what you have to hope for.
They're best fucking friends. You know what the feeling that is to have a fucking best friend? You know what that is? That you don't have to work. Forget the net for life. Forget the net for life. There's a net that we have to remove from life to be anything. You want to be a fucking Walenda, you got to take that fucking net away. Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to be a good friend, you got to take that net away. If you want people to be a friend to you, you got to take that net away. The big problem I have is when I become your friend, I go back to 1975. We're going to get in a fight with people, and we're going to fucking have each other's back till the end. We get stabbed, we break each other's head, whatever the fuck. We'll take each other to the hospital. But we're here till the end of this shit. My 35 cents, how much you got in your pocket? 38 cents. We got fucking 72 cents between the both of us. We could take over the fucking world. That doesn't evolve anymore. That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
As people get older, they have other priorities. But you know what, man? I want my friends to be there forever. I want Timmy Holloway to be there. And I want to talk to Ascles. And I want to talk to James. You know, I want to talk to people that are there for me. You know, these are my fucking friends. Listen, and we have what's called acquaintances in life. Oh my God, if you have a birthday party, I'll definitely be there. And they show up and they bring you a bottle of wine and they take pictures and they hug you. Those are those people. They're really good in front of the camera. Oh my God, I love this guy. You know, and then you call them at 4 a.m. when you're stuck. Man, I gotta go to work in 2 hours. I thought you loved this guy. What happened to the fucking love? What happened to the love? That was all for pictures. You're gonna have those people.
Yeah.
Then you got the motherfuckers that look you in the eye and go, dog, I got $8,000 in the bank. You want me to go get it? And they got 2 kids. They got 2 kids. And they're like, dog, I got $8,800 in the bank. It's yours for an attorney. And you look at them as a man and you go, no, save it for your kids. As a man, because you know you need that money, but you'd rather go out and rob for it before you take your friend's fucking kids' money. You understand me? There's different things you do as a man. I learned to be a man kid. Mm-hmm. I learned that, well, it's yours and mine, we're going for it. And if somebody fucks with you, they're fucking with me. And if somebody fucks with me, they're fucking with you. But that's not the case, bro. Especially in this fuck-ass fucking city that we live in. These people turn their fucking back on you for no reason. Those, you know, people in jobs will rat you out for what, $1 extra an hour? Mm-hmm. You're gonna rat somebody out. He takes 55-minute lunches. What do you give a fuck? You should go take a 55-minute lunch, you fucking faggot. He parks his car in the wrong parking spot. Who gives a fuck? Maybe you should grab your fucking balls too and fucking figure out. But no, dog. And the same thing happens in this town. In this town, people stop talking to you because you stole something or you did something positive. Mm-hmm. But, well, you're not helping me. What fucking help are you talking about? What help do you want? You got to get up in the morning, you got to tweet, you got to do push-ups, you got to whack off, you got to take a shower, then you got to write jokes, and you got to go meet people, and you got to get on fucking stage. That's the formula. You know, it's so weird that when I was doing these, when I was in college, and I was doing, is somebody on the call?
Yeah.
What you calling? Big Joe.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. It's my man Joe Canyon
shit.
from World of Rock motherfucking Records, the leader in vinyl. What's up, my brother?
Good morning, you freaks. How you doing?
You know us. We're over here. We're talking about weird shit and how, you know, man, when I was 27, I conned myself into the University of Colorado, Joe. And it was really funny. I was going to all these meetings dressed up in a suit, thinking I was Joe fucking Gentile. You know, like I was going to do something with my life. Deep down inside, I was a miserable fucking criminal, and I had no future in the back of my head. But there was one thing I didn't have at that time that I have now. It's the difference. And yeah, people do change. And you want me to tell you what it was? I didn't want to work. I didn't want to work. I didn't want the concept of work. I didn't like that concept of work. Like, I wanted to walk into your job and be the top editor. Like, I'm not going in there to be no editor's assistant. Like, there was no work ethic in my life. I didn't even plan on it. Like, what? I got to start as a stock boy. No. I'm going in there as a manager, and I got fucking Saturdays and Sundays off. Oh, I ain't doing it. And that's a cold reality of life that I had as a young man. But sorry about that joke hanging. Tell me something good, my brother. Because you've been a young man. You know how we act.
Man, it's not a typical morning here. It's freezing. It's windy as shit. I'm in Linden, New Jersey. I'm getting ready for the day. I got my coffee. I got everything. I'm doing everything the way you guys are doing it.
Let me ask
Usually
you
I'm
this.
on the other side of the program.
No, let me ask you this. How long have you had World of Rock?
Well, World of Rock is two things. It's a record label,
Okay.
and it's a music school.
Okay.
It's based out of Summit, New Jersey. The music school's been there since summer of 2012, and the label started probably about a year later. So, label's going on maybe 9 months, 8-9 months now.
And do you guys do DVDs, CDs, or just playing out vinyl?
I mean, it started sort of spontaneously. It was done mainly to keep me busy and to just kind of do music and art that resonates with me justice. You know what I mean? It originated as an outlet to get local bands heard, be that CDs, vinyl, now that's, big again. Anything. There were really no rules. And it just sort of turned into, so far it's just been all vinyl that we put out. But, we could really do anything. But it seems like I want vinyl now more than anything.
It's so
my
weird.
vinyl collection's been growing for the last couple of years,
We've been talking for the last 6 months, you and I, and I've been watching you. I've been watching your tweets. I watch what you do, and it's so weird that you're involved in so many different things. And one of the questions, I wanted to hook up with you in Jersey, but it was two things. I had my family lurking, and you saw what it was like Thursday night. There was 300 fucking people on my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew your trip was going to be packed from the minute you got here.
And I know that I love people who take chances. And you got to look at it and go, in a world of digital downloads, this fucking guy in Jersey wants to open up a vinyl company. And I'm not criticizing you. I'm loving your balls. That's why I've been commiserating back and forth with you, because I'm like, in this land of downloads where they're closing all these fucking stores, they're closing everything. Books, Borders, everything's getting fucked in the ass, even Red Lobster. And fucking Red Lobster. How are they going to close Red fucking Lobster? That's like killing John Wayne. Here you are doing vinyls and you're pushing 12 inches. And there's a lot of young people who don't understand what vinyl is. They don't understand. They don't want to understand. And I wish they did. It's like people, like right now I'm smoking a vapor pen, and I have vapor pens here, and it's great. It kills what I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to work on my lungs. I love getting high. But there is nothing, listen, fuck medical marijuana. There is nothing like going into a black neighborhood and getting a $10 bag of weed and throwing it under your seat and stopping at a fucked up store and getting rolling papers and driving home with the weed in your car and going upstairs and taking the weed out and breaking it with your fingers and cutting it and then cutting the rolling paper and rolling up a fucking joint. That is what it was intended for. When you listen to music, when I grew up on music, you knew what album you wanted. You walked to the store, you bought the album. Again, you got your Goombas to come over. 6 or 7 of years, you had 2 joints. You opened the album, you rolled it on the album. You took it out of the cover, you put the album on, you smoked the reefer while the album was playing, and you read the liner notes. You read the album. Where was it fucking recorded? Who was on it? We'd like to thank the Sheridan Centers. That was a karma thing. It was the process of the music. That was what it was all about. When I lick a rolling paper and I rip it and I roll it, it looks tedious, but that's the process of love. I'm taking it from the ground. That's the whole thing. When you buy a CD now, you open up the CD, there's a picture with a sleeve, and there's no info. I don't know anything about them. There's nothing in there.
You have 5 square inches to put all your liner notes, all your artwork, all your bullshit, and then the thing fucking breaks when you drop it 3 feet from the fucking ground. That's a CD. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
So what do you say?
That's a CD.
Like how like if you've been a salesman, how do you sell records to people who you can either illegally download it or download it online, keep it on your phone, it's with you in the car, wherever you are. Like for vinyl, you have to be at home. Like how would you sell it to like this generation?
Well, normally, I mean, now that vinyl's it's a big resurgence. Vinyl that's being sold now is typically packaged with the download that comes with it. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the digital that comes with the vinyl. It's like usually in like the form of a card. You enter the code on the computer, you get it for free. You know what I mean? It's inside the vinyl itself. Then you have the vinyl for the home. You know, you sit down, you listen to it as it's meant to be heard, as a piece of, in Joey's case, a piece of comedy, or it's whatever it is. It's art. It's meant to be paid attention to and focused on instead of something disposable to listen to in the background when you're driving or something. I mean, that's fun too. That's what the digital's for. But the vinyl is for when you are ready to actually experience the album the way it's meant to be heard, like the old days. You know what I mean?
It takes a certain music person. You go to somebody's house and they have a library of books. They want you to see that fucking library. They're trying to show you something. Nobody puts their library in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody does. Everybody wants to show you what books they've read. Oh my God. Did you read all those books? Yes, I did in time. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? Same thing with music people. When I was growing up, hey, this is my friend Lee. Say hello. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Yeah. Sit down, guys. Have a soda. Have a beer. When that motherfucker went in the kitchen to get you a beer, the first thing you went and you looked through his record collection. That motherfucker had more than 2 bad albums. You're out of there like a bad cold. I see Cheap Trick live at Budokan and something else. Fuck this motherfucker. It was out there. You saw where his head was at. If he didn't have Zeppelin 2, if he didn't have Paranoid, if he didn't have, there was certain albums you gotta have. If you didn't have those, this motherfucker ain't right. He's a cop. He's something. He's an undercover fucking witness. He's a mambo dancer for the FBI. He ain't right because he ain't got the right fucking music. People like that. People like for you to go in their house and see what they listen to. They want you to see, it's making a resurgence. It definitely is. I miss it. I tell people all the time, if you buy the last Led Zeppelin album is Coda. I'm talking about the one before that, In Through the Outdoor. If you find it in a store today, if you're not doing anything, you drive your wife to a fucking stupid hair salon or you get a pair of pants and there's an album store. Go in there and look for the last Led Zeppelin album, the one to last, In Through the Outdoor. Pull the sleeve out. You pull the sleeve out. If they took care of it, the sleeve is a picture of an ashtray with cigarettes in it, a few loose joints, some booze, and some pills and coke. You take a sponge and you wet the sponge and you dry it and you would wipe that thing and all the colors would come to life.
Whoa.
Do you understand me? People played with that. If you look at Some Girls, the album by the Stones, look at it, pull it out. It lets you match up the wigs with the faces of the Stones. If you look at Led Zeppelin 3, the Immigrant Song and all that, it has a thing that spins. So while you were smoking dope, you could spin this fucking thing. The old Cheech and Chong album had a rolling paper in it.
Really?
A big fucking rolling paper in it. This is a piece of you that you're giving to me. I just didn't give you $16.99 for a fucking disc and a piece. You're giving me a piece of me. So, you know, I loved inside covers. If you get Pink Floyd Animals, you pulled out the thing, the lyrics were in there. You know, all the fucking songs. There was some neat shit.
Yeah.
Van Halen 2 had a poster of David Lee Roth hanging with chains. I threw darts at that fucking poster. I hated that fucking poster. My point being, there was just so much more life to an album. And don't get me wrong, I love cassettes. I love DVDs. I love going out to iTunes and pressing the thing, and next thing you know, you listen to fucking music. That's all great and dandy, but the album is for that guy that goes home. He's a stoner. He wants to live the whole fucking thing. He's got the chair you got, Lee, that you put your feet up, and you just listen to Dark Side of the Moon, you know. How many bands have put out albums? How many bands have put out albums through you guys?
Say that again?
How many bands have put out albums through you guys?
Well, you're going to be the third album we do, or the third release. Our first one is a 7-inch single by actually a very popular rock band that's been around. They're not around anymore, unfortunately, but they've been around for quite some time. CKY. The lead singer and the drummer have a side project named Foreign Objects. So we're doing a box set of those. We're doing each single from one of my favorite albums, so I couldn't say no to it. We're doing a box set of each song with a whole lot of B-sides. And there's a pop band from Australia called The Triangles who had a song in an LG commercial recently. That's how I found out about it. And I fell in love with the song. And I found out that it wasn't pressed on vinyl. And I said, you know what? I guess I got a fucking job to do. So I got in touch with them. And they said, hey, yeah, we could, let's do something. Let's press a vinyl, 7-inch single. So we're doing that now. Pre-orders are up. And then we're going to do yours. So that's what we got going on right now. And we're doing a free compilation we're putting together with a whole lot of local bands. But that's still in the works.
Now, are you a musician also?
Yeah, I've been making music since 2006. I was... I had a band called Rune Machines. We're not really doing anything anymore. Put a whole lot of stuff out over the past 7-8 years or so, but I haven't really written anything recently. I've just been kind of in a transitional phase. I just moved back here from PA, so I'm just trying to take it day by day, figure out what the whole plan is. World of Rock is really the only thing keeping me sane. That's my beacon of sanity through the whole thing, so I hope it shows.
You love what you do, Joe?
I love it. I love it.
Now, do a lot of people
I hope that shows.
I'm sorry?
I said, I hope that shows. All I know that shows.
No, it shows.
It's a 24/7 thing for me. It's all it is. World of Rock is a one-person thing. I mean, I'm the one that runs I do all the graphics, I do all the everything, start to finish. So it's a hell of a job, hell of a responsibility, but it's an interesting time. So I can't say no to it.
Now, do you go out a lot in Jersey during the week? Do you go to different bars and see different bands, or?
Not as much as I should, as a record label representative, I guess. On a personal level, no, I mean, I don't really go out much at all. I kind of spend all my time working on something creative. I write a lot, but I haven't put anything out in a while. Mostly music. But like I said, I'm just trying to gather I'm just trying to gather it all together and figure out what the next step is.
It's funny because if you're in the music business, 15 years ago, it was like the comedy business. You had to be out 6 nights a week. You all had to see the next, who doesn't want to see the next big, The Who? But at the same time, the internet fucked that up a little bit because now if I say to you, dog, check out, Jewish Lightning, you go home, throw in Jewish Lightning, and there they are on YouTube or whatever. Me, before I sign somebody, I want to go see them live. I want to go see what they're putting out. I want to go see how they are with the people afterward, how they are before. Are they fucking bumbling buffoons? But you could just get it out of the way now by turning on YouTube, which works for an artist and doesn't work for an artist. I'm disgusting. But if you sit through the show and come and watch, I turn disgusting into a little nicer than what it is on stage. I make it seem a little cleaner and then I talk to the people afterward, and you could tell my heart and my love is there, you'll sign me. If I just send you a YouTube thing, you'll never sign me. Even from the beginning, when I got here, people would say, send me a reel, and I refused to send them because what's the use? You're not going to do nothing from a couple jokes. I want you to come check me out. You know, what's still open in Jersey to check? I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, this 30 years ago, it was a Hole in the Wall, you know, the Soap Factory. I mean, those are the big venues. I saw Aerosmith there. I saw Twisted Sister there. You know, I used to go see Sticky Fingers.
Not that much. I mean, the Stone Ponies here, the Starland Ballroom's here.
Right, my friend Queensryche, Rudy Sarzo was at the Starland Ballroom last week. He tweeted me the one night. Where is Starland Ballroom?
Sayreville.
That's
Sayreville.
Okay, Sayreville. Okay, and that was Bon Jovi's all stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were around Woodbridge and Perth Amboy, which that's 15 minutes from me. I'm in Linden, so I'm right up Route 1 from them.
Wow, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm like 20 minutes from North Bergen, right up 1 and 9.
Wow. Yeah, you're right there. 1 and 9 is Tunley Avenue. That's a terrible fucking road, man.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Did you see the trailer that we put together, or that I put together for the vinyl?
I saw the one, but I Want to Be Around, but I haven't seen the other one.
That's it. That's the one. That was filmed on Route 1 and 9.
Okay.
I took my phone out and I drove all the way up towards North Bergen, filmed all that, the skylines and stuff, came all the way back, put it together, put the music to it, threw it up there. That was all done in one day.
Now, it's amazing that, I mean, I always check this out because I'm thinking of getting one. Once I settle, I mean, it would be a waste. People keep telling me that if you go on eBay, there's a lot of turntables on there. Is that true? Or like there's...
Sure.
Really?
Sure, yeah.
They have everything. They have like anything old.
No shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
turntables,
because
yeah.
I have no idea how to use a record player. Like, how easy is it to pick up? Like, it sounds like an idiot thing to
Can
say,
you
but I
fucking
just
believe this? Yeah.
if I had one, I would have no idea where to put the needle. I have no idea how to change.
You put the needle on the record.
Well,
Put the needle on the record. You fuck yeah. You
Putting
just
the needle on the record is like lighting a cigarette. Everybody does it slightly different.
okay, so
And
there's
a right way to do it.
there's
a right way to do it.
Okay,
remember, motherfuckers, you walked in their house
was
and
a
they're like,
bad
you can't even
analogy.
put sneakers on. Don't shake. The needle is very sensitive. There's motherfuckers who took that shit seriously, bro. Like, don't fucking move in my room because the shit shakes. Yeah, I think you get it. Somebody told me at a record store in San Francisco, you get a turntable on eBay now for $100 fucking bucks.
Sure, yeah.
$100, man.
There are people that really strive for the best possible sound that they can get out of a record. So they'll spend a lot of money on a turntable and all the components But they also sell like those novelty old ones like at Target for $100. But I would stay away from those if you're looking for something of decent quality, because those are more of a novelty than anything. They look cool, but they tend to disintegrate after a while.
Right, after a while. They're 30 fucking years old. They still have that wire from the fucking needle to the thing that carries the sound, I mean, so people are making them brand new is what you're telling me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's a big thing. I mean, ever since vinyl came, it started coming
shit.
back. So did turntables.
Yeah, it's really weird because I remember vinyl being huge. And, you had your cassettes were coming into the mold and 8-tracks were going. And then the big thing was you had to have reel-to-reel. Oh, my God, that's the only way to listen. You could actually hear him pulling away from the microphone. All that dumb fucking Gentile shit. So that was, everybody went for the reel-to-reel. And I had a buddy who had reel-to-reel. And I got to tell you something. He put Judas Priest live on there, the Unleashed in the East. And he put Stained Class on there. And the sound was unfucking believable. So then people kept saying, well, the sound is better on DVDs. So they went all the way to DVDs. And then all of a sudden people started saying, nah, The sound is better on fucking vinyl. And then when Keith Richards put his book out, he put a couple chapters out dedicated to recording of music now. How they fucked it all up. They fucked it all up. They can't even do live albums anymore. They forgot how to wire rooms. They forgot how to wire drums. He does like a whole chapter of it. Did you read it at all, Joe?
No, I haven't. I was never really big into the Stones for some reason. I like the Stones, and this is going to sound terrible, but I dig the Stones more than the Beatles, only because I happen to like their sound more than the Beatles. I understand the respect and all that. But
Oh, no. You're preaching to the choir. Listen, the Beatles were the Beatles, and the Stones are the Stones. The Stones are fucking dirty. The Stones are dirty.
Right.
There's a period of the Stones that they're fucking dirty, and you can feel in their music, and it feels great. Sticky Fingers is dirty. It's Only Rock and Roll is dirty. You know, there's a couple albums that they had during the '70s that are just so brilliant, but that's the brilliance that they sound dirty.
Well, is Altamont about them? That documentary, is that them?
Yes.
Oh, that was scary as shit.
When they were up in Altamont, somebody got stabbed. The Hells Angels stabbed somebody, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, the Stones were dirty. If you look at the Stones, if you look at Keith Richards and all that, Ron Wood came along in '73 or '74. They're dirty, man. Not that they don't take showers. Their sound is very.
No, their sound. We at the studio we have like a big TV with like a DVD setup, and we have a rotating selection of DVDs. It's the Stones live. I guess it's the newest live DVD. I don't know if there's more than one. It's that Foo Fighters. We got Elvis, and I think another one. And they're just constantly on loop, just going every day. So it's playing all the time. I hear it all the time.
That's amazing. Constantly on loop. Elvis was dirty too.
Really?
A little
You
bit.
ain't kidding.
Some of his shit was dirty, man. It's dirty.
That's one thing I never got into, man. It's and it's not a regret, but I don't know the names of like the guitar player for this, or music was never like, it never did that for me. So listening to you guys like talk about, well, the Stones are dirty, but then the Beatles, it's like it's a whole new world. That's just exciting to like to get into.
The Beatles have how many albums, Joe? Estimate.
They have a lot of.
They have a lot of albums.
Bands put out. They put out a lot of albums. They put out 2-3 albums a year back then, because albums were, the whole process was a lot simpler and quicker back then. Maybe shit. I couldn't even tell you.
The Stones put out, I gotta say, 20 albums. That's conservative, you know.
I don't think the Beatles I don't think they were that high up.
Exile on Main Street, all those out, you know, there's just too many of them.
According to Wikipedia, it says they put out 13.
Who's that, the Stones?
Yeah, that sounds
The
about
Beatles.
right.
The Beatles? No, that's not right.
That's not right?
I don't think so. It could be. It could be. It could be.
Yeah, I
Revolve?
was
Yeah, it
thinking
could
around
be.
there,
Yeah.
13, 14.
What about the Stones?
Let's see.
You know, I was always more of a Pink Floyd and Queen fan. I was
Me
Queen
too.
fan since
Me
I was
too. Hey, listen,
3,
man. Fucking, one of my favorite songs of all time is Death on Two Legs. I love that Queen
Oh
album.
my God!
Oh my God!
Oh, let me talk to you about Night at the Opera. If I could talk.
Night
to
of the
you.
Opera.
Oh,
That's
my God.
a masterpiece of an album. I just every time I put it on
I'm looking at it
Twitter,
right now.
every time I put a song from that album on Twitter, people have no idea what I'm talking about, and I don't tell them.
They
I
have no
don't.
idea what went into making.
No, no.
Shit, what was the one? Seaside Rendezvous. All
my
the
God.
tapping and shit.
I forgot all about that shit. How many
Oh
is
God damn!
24.
The Stones have 24 fucking albums. 24 albums. That's why they're fucking gazillionaires. 24 fucking albums. And the meat of the Stones is in the middle. That Goat's Head Soup, Exile, Sticky Fingers, It's Only Rock and Roll, Some Girls. That's the fucking heart of the Stones in there. That one, with Jimmy Page is on it. Oh my God, they have a lot of fucking wild music, the Stones, but that's 24 fucking albums.
Last one was in 05.
Oh yeah, they put something out every couple fucking years.
Yeah, in the 60s, they put 2 out. They put like 3 or 4 out in 65. And every year, 66. Yeah, up until
Yeah, you're right, Joe.
like 83. One, at least one a year.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Are you a bigger fan of Gilmore's Floyd or Waters' Floyd?
I'm a Gilmore guy all the way to the end.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I have no use. I can't, and people are going to be pissed at me. I have no use for egos. And it doesn't show me a lot to see an ego. I just need to see them walk. A manageable ego is Bono. And I'll tell you why, because they're still together. Roger Waters' ego, the singer from the Police's ego, those were fucking egos that it's just too much to feed. And that shit drives me fucking crazy when an ego breaks up a band, i.e. the Police, i.e., you know, whatever the fuck else we were talking about. So, Roger Waters. I love, again, the dirty sound of Gilmore. I love that dirty dogs, you know, sheep, all that Gilmore shit. To me, he's one of the best guitar players of our time. But that's to me. We all have different people. I put him up there with Page and the Hendrixes and the Shankners, and, you know, we all have our different, you know, people.
Him and Brian May of Queen are
Brian May's a fucking
my
savage.
top two.
Brian May's a savage. I'm gonna tell you who else is a savage that you never want to admit it. But if you listen to Bitch, Keith Richards is a fucking savage. An untamed savage, Keith Richards. And if you don't fucking believe me, put on Bitch, put on Sticky Fingers, and just focus on his guitar playing. Can't you hear me knocking? All that shit is fucking heroin in your fingers. That's, if he touches you, you're high for 2 fucking days, and that's what happens to you. That's what happens to you when you listen to that shit. You know, I love listen, man, I love everything. I get into arguments with people, and the biggest arguments I'll get at and the angrier I get is about music, because it's plain and simple. I was telling somebody the other day, if Leonard Skinner would have lived, do you know how different society would have been today? Because the Cars wouldn't have been popular. A lot of that music would have never came out. If Leonard Skinner would have lived, they would have rised up. They would have rised up. Outlaws would have rised up. All those Southern bass type bands would have fucking jumped right up. That would have made room for nobody. They were eating people alive. I've said this for years. Look at fucking, read up on when they opened up for the Stones in Nebworth. It was 2 different fucking worlds. Even the Stones couldn't believe how good Leonard Skinner was. They couldn't believe it. That these guys were fucking crazy. Somebody wrote me a thing yesterday. When are you coming to Jacksonville? And I'm like, fuck that boredom fucking town. But you know, that fucking boredom town produced some of the best fucking guitar players in the history of American music. The guitar player from the Eagles, the guy they threw out, and fucking Tom Petty. As a matter of fact, fucking, he was Tom Petty's guitar player in high school. Did you fucking know that, dog?
No.
Did you know that the guitar player from the Eagles taught Tom Petty the guitar in high school? Tell me what kind of name.
I never got into Tom Petty.
Tom Petty's another savage that you got to get into him. There's a couple albums that he's fucking heavy duty. When they fucking kidnapped the chicken, Sounds of the Lambs, they played Tom Petty. Tom Petty's a fucking savage, dog. World of Rock, where do you want to take this label to? I mean, you're doing comedy. I'm doing my next album with you guys, or this album. You Can't Eat Pussy with Asthma. I'm going to put it out on vinyl for the connoisseurs of vinyl, you know, because when I listen to fucking comedy, I learned to listen to comedy on you know, whatever his name was. Pryor on vinyl. You know, I had Carlin on vinyl. And if you left the vinyl by the window, the sun would melt the vinyl a little bit. So it would have like it would have a little bump into it. So all the music had like a little bump into it. So you had to put it back by the window and adjust it when it got warm again. Fucking tremendous album. You got to be very careful with your albums.
You always got to be careful. It's always good to stack them vertically too, because if you stack them horizontal, if there's a piece of dust or a speck of something in there, it could scratch the groove. So you always want to stack it vertical.
Oh, jeez.
Remember when somebody would borrow your album and scratch it, you wanted to fucking stab them 50 times? Like, dog, when I gave you this album, it wasn't scratched. Yes, it was. It bumped at that party. Listen, man, I'm happy for the time to call in today, Joe. I love you with all my heart. I think you're a good little fucking guy doing a good thing, and you're doing it for the right cause, you know?
It's really cool to hear on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, you're doing it for the right cause.
Really
I can tell.
is.
Listen, bro, I can tell when somebody's faking the funk, and I can tell when somebody's putting everything they got into this. And I want to do, You Can't Eat Pussy with Asthma. We're gonna fucking print up. I gotta get you some pictures together, and I also want to do my next one on with you. And I want to do like a Pink Floyd thing, put all three of them together on vinyl and make like a big cover, and we'll get that out for Christmas or
That'd
something.
be awesome.
That's how
I have a couple. There are a couple surprises for the vinyl too. One of which will make each single copy different from all the rest. One of them involves my good friend Waterboxer, and the other two gentlemen that I was with when I saw you in Jersey are going to be helping with the final step of the vinyl the vinyl pressing process. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You'll find out.
That's why I love you, brother. How cool is fucking Waterboxer?
I love him.
Is Waterboxer a bad motherfucker?
Everybody on there. Lucas, Leon, Don't Fake the Funk. They had me on. I called into Lee's show. I think it was episode 6 one day. It was 6 or 7.
Did you?
I called in and I talked to Lee and Agostino.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for supporting the Flying Jew Radio. You're a good man. So I'll give you a call from Florida and we'll put this together, brother. I love you and I've been watching you and I don't want you to think I threw you to the wolves. Sometimes, there's some...
No, not at all.
Sometimes when people call, I'm in a bad position. I got the baby in one arm and I don't want her yelling into the phone or something. And, since
No,
it's
I
been
know
slow.
you're a lot busier than I am.
Man, this is it's a different life. When you once you sprinkle a child in there, it adds a different fucking view to this life. So that's why. But I love you, brother. Thank you for calling in on a Wednesday. World of Rock. Now, where's your webpage at?
Just go to facebook.com/World of Rock Records if you want to check out the records we have for sale. It's worldofrockrecords.bigcartel.com. We still have to put a website together. I'm getting on that now. And twitter.com/World of Rock Recs, RECS.
And if you're an artist and you want to submit your music to World of Rock, my man Joe, hit him up on Twitter and send it over, and you never know what he could do for you. I love you, Joe. Thank you for fucking keeping music alive, bro. This means a lot to me with the vinyl, so I love you.
It means a lot to me, too. You have no idea.
Stay black and stay warm in Jersey, cocksucker.
I'll try.
I love this shit. I love it, Lee. I love what we're doing, cocksucker. It's a beautiful fucking day to be alive. Get up, do some jumping jacks, look at the sky, thank whoever, Buddha, Jesus, Satan, for giving you another day in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Besides Waterbox, I want to give some shout-outs to my main man, John Diaz, to Joe Ando, to Mario Fusco, to Tammy Ruther. I love you, my love. And Wolf Hashtag, who's always fucking there for me.
Wolf Hashtag is awesome.
No, Wolf Hashtag's a bad motherfucker, though. We were very blessed because, and I hate saying that word blessed. I sound like one of those black housewives from fucking Atlanta. Because I'm blessed. Get the fuck out of here, you're blessed. You're a fucking
That's
thief.
what I thought. Every time I look at you, that's a black housewife from Atlanta. That's what Joey's like.
How about I scratch my nuts? How about I scratch my nuts and make you sniff my fingers, cocksucker?
What's your favorite Real Housewife show?
I have no idea. One night I was in a hotel and I couldn't find the remote and I was watching the Black Housewives. Everybody's dressed in white and everybody's drinking martinis. The black people I hung out with didn't do that shit.
You lost the remote.
Yeah, what are you gonna fucking do? Cocksucker. What if I hit you in the head with this e-cigarette, motherfucker? Anyway. How about I want to thank my sponsors, my main motherfuckers on it, always there for me. Solid, fucking sending out a great product, getting you people up to the next level, whatever it may be, strength, endurance, cardio, whatever the fuck. They got everything for you. Ropes, kettlebells, battle ropes, vests, they got digestimes, they got protein powder, they got fucking hemp force candy bars, chocolate protein bars. They got the bread and butter is fucking Alpha Brain. If you're not taking Alpha Brain and you're walking around like a retard, it's your fucking fault, all right? If you're walking around like a fucking retard, it's because you're not taking Alpha Brain. Give it a fucking shot, okay? You're breathing heavy. You want more endurance. I've been telling you for fucking months. Shroom Tech. Tremendous. Shroom Tech Sports. You're immune. You're hanging out with a bunch of people with the HIV, where they got foot fungus. Get fucking Shroom Tech Immune. Take care of yourself. That's all I ask you. You go to fucking joeydiaz.net. And in that fucking thing, and that page, and conglomeration of dates and T-shirts and Ugats, there's a box. It says on it. You put what in the box, Lee?
Church,
and you get 10% off. Let's say you're stupid. Let's say that you're fucking busy with your life. You can't put it together. You want Alpha Brain sent to your house every fucking month. You go to that box, you stay on it program. You get an extra 20% off, and they ship it right to you on the first of every month like a welfare check, okay? That's number one. Number two, Dollar Shave Club. How many times are you going to talk about this shit? If you're a man and you're not using Dollar Shave Club and you're not getting a break on this shit, it's because you're fucking retarded or something's wrong with you. I love you to death. This is $1, $6, or $9 a month. Times 12. You can't fucking lose. Even if you get the $6 package, where they send you 4 razors a month with the aloe blade and the whole fucking deal. $6. How much is your time worth, you fuck? You want to go down to a store and stand there and wait online, and you don't have do you have your PIN number so we can run it through? Who gives a fuck, lady? Just give me my fucking razors. I got shit to do. No, you don't need that no more. Go to joeydiaz.net. In the box, there's a box with fucking Dollar Shave Club. What are you putting there?
Church.
Church. You know, what is this, Sesame Street? You get fucking, it's sent to your house the first of the month. They send you an email, your box is being sent, you can track it. Not only that, you want to wipe your ass, you want it to smell like peppermint?
Who doesn't?
That's what I'm talking about. One Wipe Charlie's. You want something better than fucking shave cream? They got that cocoa butter with the low bark in it, and it removes the fucking ingrown hairs. You're a fucking savage. I don't want to go over this again with you people. You fucking aggravate me. The same thing with this other shit. This
Nature Box?
Nature Box, the best. I just got another box the other day. Those fucking mustard pretzels are fucking delicious.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Nature Box ain't fucking around, dog.
And when you're flying, because I mean, snacks are expensive when you fly. Might as well just throw them in a bag.
Am I flying like a fucking Rican? With Nature Box, I look like you ever see those Gentiles?
Yeah.
They get on a plane with a Subway sandwich.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Oh yeah, that's all me.
Fuck that shit. Either you're bringing a T-bone or you ain't bringing nothing. Don't show up there with a fucking McDonald's burger. But Nature Box is a good idea to fly with. You're a fucking
Thank you. And you're gonna be in your hotel room. You'll be all high. You want to go downstairs.
Snacks. This is why I love you. This is why I keep you around. You're not only a good.
Who knows more about snacks? I know that if you want to know about snacks, come to me. If you want to know about albums, go to CU.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. Nature's Box. Get 50% off your fucking first order. Go to joeydiaz.net. Go to the Nature's Box. And what do they got?
Joey,
Joey. Go to naturebox.com. Look at the snacks they got. You could change them up every month. There's 1,000 different orders. Definitely get the cocoa covered fucking almonds. And for my main motherfuckers, naileditlife.com. Look how easy and nice this is. This is a heavy fucking pen right here. I use both of them. I use the fucking, this one, Eureka, but it's very light. This I could use as a weapon. This is not going to fall twice and fucking break. You fall, the Eureka falls, you're done. This thing here, you got 2 compartments. You got the bottom piece right here, and you can put your fucking oil in there, ba-boom, and you put this in, or you could unnail the top over here like this, right, and you can put a ball of fucking wax in here that'll send you to goddamn Jupiter. I'll show you how we do it right here. You take this, boom. You rub this in your fucking fingers like that. It feels like, boom, like a fucking snot. You put it in here. You get your finger a little sticky, like icky. And you put this thing here. No blowtorch, no fucking nothing. I'm doing this for you today because it's Wednesday. I love you people. I know that you people you listen, you're going to enjoy it, but we can't see. I want you to fucking close your eyes and sniff. I'm going to blow a fucking smoke, hot oil lung going right at you.
And they can see now. YouTube hasn't taken down that video I put up, so it looks like taking the music out, it's going to work.
Okay, so here you go. Shh. You hear that thing cooking and percolating? You hear that, people? That's like the smell of napalm in the morning. Listen again. Can they hear it, Lee?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm telling you, people. NailedItLife.com. Why are you fucking around with substitutes? Go to NailedItLife.com. Go to the page. You tell them I sent you. Get 20% off.
Joey Diaz, yeah.
Like a fucking doctor. That's how we're doing it on a Wednesday, March 26th. Who's better than you? You understand me? I'm leaving tomorrow morning for the Fort Lauderdale Improv Tickets are selling like hotcakes. Don't come crying to me. Oh, Joey, I can't get tickets. Fuck you. You should have got them on Tuesday. I know you're broke. Put on the credit card. Who gives a fuck? You ain't gonna pay them. You got bad credit.
And it's really cool. But my dad lives in the area, and he took me up there. They have we went to a sushi bar right next to the casino. Go up there for a whole night. It's really fucking cool.
At the casino.
Yeah, they have a sushi bar, and they give you cotton candy at the end. We sat at the sushi bar with a really cool old Asian guy.
So you went to the Hard Rock Casino?
Fuck yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
Look at Lee and shit, slinging dick and
I don't mess around. I go and I scope out all your tour dates.
You got the
don't even know
fucking
about
Jews
it.
and shit like that. I want you to put on the Rolling Stones hot stuff. And this is what the Stones did for Dirty. They're just dirty, and I love them. I love all that shit. And for you people who don't know, 4/3, April 3rd to April 5th, I'm at the Tempe Improv with my other favorite Jew, motherfucking Ari Shafir. And I don't know if you people remember Saturday night, my main man and my brother and my mentor in a lot of ways, Eddie Bravo, Metamoris. You could download it because the tickets are sold out. They're $100 a ticket, but you can still download it for $30 or $20. $20. I know Lee will be downloading. Lee, can come over later. You got to help me download it on my phone.
You can't download. I mean, it's just you stream it.
So I can stream it on my iPad?
Yeah.
Whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So I go to metamoris.com, pay for it, and I can stream it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a fucking genius. That's why I love you. Where's that hot stuff? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's Wednesday. Get up. Wash that pussy, motherfucker. You might get it eaten today. Go. Wiggle Fungal Joey Lee. Fat man alert. Fat man alert. What? Go, Lee. Move your hands in the air. A couple calories, Lee. Come on. Go, Lee. What? This is what I'm talking about, Lee. It's Wednesday, March 26th. You bad motherfuckers. What are you gonna do? Sit there with a thumb up your ass? You're gonna go out there and get what belongs to you, motherfucker. Your lunch money is in somebody's pocket, and you're sitting there. It's Joey, the church. Go out there and get some fucking cash. Sign up for a fucking jiu-jitsu class. Write your fucking memoirs. I don't give a fuck. Stab a bitch. Do something today. Do something. You only get one shot at this fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Where's the national anthem? That's what the problem is. Nobody fucking remembers they're a fucking American no more. You understand me? Get up. That's it. I'm pissed off today. Get up. Get up. You're a fucking American. People forget every week. Well, where's the missing plane? Who gives a fuck? They're in the Indian Ocean. Now they found the 150 fucking parts that belongs to it. For 10 days, nobody found fucking nothing. But now, today, they found 113 parts. They just showed up. For a week, they didn't know where it was. They didn't even know the Turkish shot it down. But, oh shit. It's your chance to prove yourself. Justify your existence. You're a fucking American. You didn't wake up with a fucking towel on your head getting chased by fucking Russians. You didn't wake up being a black kid under a fucking tree with no breakfast and flies on top of you. You didn't wake up in some fucking foreign country where they're whipping you and you're sucking some fucking old man's dick. But you're sitting there complaining about insurance and there's no work and there's no construction. Go fuck yourself. Get up. Grab your balls. What do you think God put you in this fucking planet for? What the fuck you think he put you in the United States for? To be a fucking jerk off and to watch Kim Kardashian with fucking Kanye West on Vogue? Who gives a fuck about those two motherfuckers? They're getting somebody to peel blueberries and feed them to them. You gotta go out there and get the fuck up and wash your balls and wash your fucking hair and grab your fucking heart. You gotta get out there. Fuck Kim Kardashian. Fuck Good Morning America. Fuck all this nonsense. It's all about you today. You're a fucking American. Grab your gun, fucking load it with bullets, and get the fuck out there and take what belongs to you. The same way the fucking Pilgrims did, motherfuckers. Have a great day. I love you. Stay black and stay fucking strong. You're the church. That means you're a savage, motherfuckers. I love you. Lee, close this motherfucker up today. I'm fucking fired up. Fort Lauderdale, here I come. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow morning. If you got them, smoke them, you bad motherfuckers. Oh, fuck you
heard it here first. Fuck Good Morning
26th.
America.
Fuck Good Morning America and all those fucking fags trying to sell you computer parts in the morning. You got to sell you, motherfucker. It's all about you today.
Now that the show's over, don't forget to sign up for dollarshaveclub.com.
I love smoking marijuana.
Who doesn't love smoking? Get high quality razors sent to your door each and every month for a fraction of what they cost at retail. Go to dollarshaveclub.com, use promo code Joey Church, or go to joeydiaz.net and click on the Dollar Shave Club banner. Now that the show's over, remember to go to naturebox.com and order great tasting healthy snacks at 50% off. Snack smarter in the new year with healthy and delicious treats like everything bagel chips and sweet potato fries. Support this podcast and get half off of your first order. Go to naturebox.com, promo code Joey. That's naturebox.com, promo code Joey. And again, go to naileditlife.com for all you oil and wax smokers out there. I'll get 20% off of the best vapor pen on the market.
That's right.
Oh.